Chapter 48:12. This was the only thing they could offer. After all, the background of those three big shots wasn't simple. Asking them to give up this area was still quite a bit of pressure for them. For them to say this, it could be said that they thought very highly of this Big Dipper Gate Master. Ordinary people really didn't have this kind of qualifications. Bai Mutin and Chung Yuan came this time because they saw the potential of the Slaughter sect. Especially after hearing the two guards' words, they became even more clear about the importance of the Slaughter sect. No matter what, they had to recruit them. This way, it was equivalent to having a force in their hands. As for when this force could develop, it was up to the Big Dipper Gate Master himself. The only thing they could do was secretly exert their strength. He believed that with their support in the dark, the Slaughter sect's strength would rise faster than expected. Ha 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 ha. Is this the benefit you were talking about? It's really useless to me. You think too highly of yourselves. It's just those three big shots. I can easily destroy them. Even if you didn't say anything, this area will be my world sooner or later. Lin Fei laughed loudly. How could he believe these people from the Immortal Demon sect, just because of a few words? To him, taking down this 10 million kilometer area wasn't a difficult matter, even if they had a backer behind them. A backer wouldn't casually make a move. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a mess? At most, they would add fuel to the fire. This was something that Lin Fei could see very clearly. Bai Mutin and Chung Yuan's expressions changed slightly. It seemed that this Big Dipper Gate Master wasn't that easy to trick. They really wanted to trick him just now. They didn't expect that they would be exposed so quickly. However, their expressions were quite normal, without any awkwardness. Bai Mutin smiled. Then I don't know what your so-called benefit is. Let me hear it. Let's see if we can satisfy you or not. Since their words couldn't satisfy this Big Dipper Gate Master, then they would change the method and let the Big Dipper Gate Master speak. Actually, the benefits I want are quite simple. I don't have any ulterior motives. I just want to live longer. Therefore, it's not difficult for me to stand on your side. As long as you give me the 10 million kilometers next door, I will naturally treat you differently. My request isn't too difficult, right? This time, it was finally the two's turn to change their expressions. The situation was completely different from what they had imagined. Bai Mutin and Chung Yuan both stood up. This was obviously making things difficult for them. The surrounding kings, who were tens of millions of kilometers away, were not so easy to talk to. All of them were proud and arrogant. It was impossible for them to give up this 20 million kilometer area. Big Dipper Gate Master, don't you think this kind of request is too difficult? Do you think we can do it? Lin Fei laughed again. My request is really not high. It seems that you can't complete it, so I'll have to do it myself. I still have things to do, so I won't send you off. They could not come to an agreement. Naturally, Lin Fei would not talk to the two of them anymore. He turned around and left. Bai Mutin and Chung Yuan were not lightly angered. This was the first time they had come here, and they had actually been given the cold shoulder. They hadn't come to an agreement at all, and were instead ignored by the other party. In any case, they were also people of the Immortal Demon sect. The two looked at each other again, then turned around and left the Slaughter sect. When they arrived outside, both of their faces were filled with anger. After all, this was the first time they had been rejected. Moreover, they were people of the Immortal Demon sect. If this spread outside, they would be laughed at. This Big Dipper is too much. He actually wants us to give up the territory of tens of millions of kilometers away to him. Who does he think he is? If he has the ability, he won't be afraid of eating too much. Bai Mutin was extremely angry, but she couldn't do anything to this guy. Junior sister Bai, don't be angry. It's not worthwhile to be angry with this kind of person. Since he doesn't acknowledge us, let's just watch a good show. With the temper of those three big shots, I reckon that sooner or later they will make a move. Chung Yuan was the same. They had originally wanted to let the Slaughter sect join them, but they hadn't expected it to turn out like this. They definitely had some hatred towards this Big Dipper Gate master. In that case, they had to let the Big Dipper Gate master suffer a bit. At that time, when they appeared again, the Big Dipper Gate master would naturally shed tears of gratitude. He would then easily join their hands. This could also be considered as the next thing they could do. Therefore, they decided to stay in the vicinity for a while. If nothing unexpected happened, there would be a new movement very soon. Gate Master! These two disciples of the immortal demon sect should be looking for their own strength. They should also be very ambitious. I heard that the competition between the heaven's prided geniuses of the first-rate forces is very intense. Luo Yi had watched from the beginning to the end. He didn't really care about the two disciples of the immortal demon sect. Of course, if it wasn't for the fact that their guards were strong enough, Luo Yi would have already driven them out. What's so good about relying on the strength of the immortal demon sect? If they had the ability, then they could fight alone. They are indeed very different. I think that the heaven's prided geniuses of the Yu Ming mountain range are all like this. Since the people of the immortal demon sect have come, then other heaven's prided geniuses will also come. It seems that our slaughter sect is going to be very lively. Lin Fei also smiled. Luo Yi said, "Then what should we do next? We can't let those heaven's prided geniuses come to visit us one by one. We can just directly hang a sign on the door saying that the slaughter sect will be in seclusion for a period of time. All the disciples of the slaughter sect are forbidden from going out, and we won't receive any visitors." Luo Yi was dumbfounded when he heard this. This could also be done, but when he thought about it again, it didn't seem to be a difficult matter. They could just hang a sign to let everyone know. But this way, they would offend those heaven's prided geniuses. Your confidence is still not enough. After your strength increases, you will naturally have confidence. Even if they are heaven's prided geniuses, they won't dare to do anything in a short period of time if they really have any ideas about our Big Dipper sect. Lin Fei really didn't care about them. Soon, there was a big sign outside the slaughter sect. Visitors declined. Big Dipper sect, closed door. These were very simple words, but to many people, it was filled with a special meaning. At least in the eyes of Bai Peony and Cheng Yuan, this Big Dipper sect was a little different. What was this Big Dipper sect leader planning to do? Could it be that he planned to offend all the heaven's prided geniuses in one go? Or was he accumulating power and waiting to act? Was he preparing to take over the ownership of the 10 million kilometers in one go? Chapter 48:13. It was true that the three magnates harbored great hatred towards the slaughter gate. After they returned, they didn't do anything, but in reality, they all went to find their backers. They're just strong. What's there to be afraid of? Finding a few experts to completely flatten your slaughter sect was not a difficult matter. Why isn't there a king in this 10 million kilometer area? It's because the three giants can't do anything to each other. Therefore, the three giants discussed and decided to control this 10 million kilometer area together. That was the only way. The slaughter sect popped up out of nowhere, and there wasn't a clear winner. Since the slaughter sect came to join in the fun, then this Big Dipper Gate leader should die. Let's wipe out the slaughter sect first. This Big Dipper Gate leader was also dealt with. This 10 million kilometer area was still their own territory. In the meantime, they arranged for people to keep an eye on the slaughter sect, especially their every move. Whenever there's a big commotion, they would immediately take action, until the slaughter sect put out a sign. This surprised the three giants. Could the Big Dipper Gate be making a move again? Therefore, they wanted to completely wipe out the slaughter sect even more. If they don't wipe out the slaughter sect, they won't be able to sit still. Luckily, this day has finally arrived. After about a month, the three giants once again came to the slaughter sect. Coming to the slaughter sect this time, they had the advantage in numbers. It couldn't be compared to before. The three of them and a group of experts. Apart from this, they also brought 3 pseudo-war god level fighters. Bullying the weak? Of course, that's bullying the weak. Who would say anything? The only thing they could say was that the Slaughter sect was unlucky to offend the three giants at once. Who didn't know that the three giants all had backers? Looks like the Slaughter sect won't be able to stop them this time. I heard that the Big Dippergate leader is quite strong, but he probably won't be their opponent. I thought there would be a big commotion in this area. At least we'll have a new leader. Who knew that the Slaughter sect still doesn't have that ability? There were many people who came to watch. Whether they were in the void or far away, they were all here to watch the Slaughter sect. As the saying goes, fish in troubled waters. They could also take advantage of the situation. This was something that many people loved to do. Meanwhile, in the void, Bai Peony and Cheng Yuan were also looking at the sect of massacres. Just as they had expected, the three giants had indeed come, and they had even brought experts with them. They could even sense pseudo-Wargid level existences in here. With the help of the fake god of war, things would be different. At the very least, the Big Dippergate master wouldn't be able to hold on much longer. They also realized one thing. If things went wrong, it might be their turn to make a move. The three big shots would more or less give the Immortal Demon sect some face. First-rate sects were no joke. If the three giants didn't have the support of their backers, they wouldn't be anything. They could destroy it with a wave of their hands. Do you think the Slaughter sect can block the three big shots this time? There really were three figures in the void. He stood with his hands behind his back. These three figures all had a domineering aura, as if they were the rulers of a region. If anyone knew him, they would definitely be able to guess it. They were the kings of the neighboring 10 million kilometers. They were purely here to watch the show. They also had big plans for this area. Unfortunately, he had never succeeded. Who would have thought that the Slaughter sect would suddenly appear? Right now, this Slaughter sect was about to be surrounded. Therefore, they purposely came to watch the show. Even the three big shots invited experts. It could be seen that the Slaughter sect's influence wasn't low, and their fighting strength was exceptionally strong, especially when they heard that the Big Dippergate leader was different. He already had half a foot in the coffin, but he actually made a move. Therefore, they naturally came to watch. This was also a way of preparing for a rainy day. First, they had to understand the situation. If the three big shots lost, something like this was very likely to happen. After all, nobody could guarantee probability. Even now, they couldn't see through this Big Dippergate leader. At this time, they didn't see any outsiders. They also heard that a lot of experts from the Immortal Demon sect and many geniuses came to visit, but they were all rejected. If they didn't come to take a look, they would feel uneasy. If their neighbor became stronger, it wouldn't be a good thing for them. If nothing unexpected happens, they definitely won't be their opponent. The only one who has a good show is this Big Dippergate leader. If the Big Dippergate leader can break through to the pseudo-war god level, then he might have a chance of survival. Otherwise, the Slaughter sect will be completely wiped out today. The three of them were all pseudo-war god level experts, so they naturally knew that the three big shots invited pseudo-war god level experts. Although they didn't know how strong they were, they would definitely be able to crush anyone below the heavenly god level. The three big shots arrived at the Slaughter sect's entrance with proud smiles on their faces. This time, the Slaughter sect definitely won't be able to walk away unscathed. Big Dippergate leader, we're here again. What else can you do this time? Why don't you come out and have a good talk? If you don't come out today, then there's no need for your Slaughter sect to exist anymore. Last time we didn't see through you, but this time it won't be so easy. I'll give you 10 breaths of time to think about it. If you don't come out, then we'll make our move. The experts of your Slaughter sect really can't withstand a single blow. The three big shots were full of confidence at this time. If the Big Dippergate leader comes out, then maybe they could still have a talk. No matter what, they had to take in the Slaughter sect. They also heard about this powerful martial art. If they could get their hands on it, then that would be for the best. It would allow the forces behind them to become even stronger. If the Big Dippergate leader doesn't know what's good for him, then they'll completely cripple him today. Then they'll get rid of this trouble. After all, there were so many people watching today. No matter what, a winner has to be decided. As for which side the scales of victory and defeat are leaning towards, of course it's towards the three big shots. Three pseudo-war god level experts aren't a joke. Three great heads. You seem to be quite free to come here again. It seems that the lesson last time wasn't enough. Then, this time, I can only exterminate you and end all troubles once and for all. While I'm at it, I also want to let everyone know that this 10 million kilometer territory belongs to my slaughter sect from now on. A figure walked out unhurriedly. Who else could it be other than the Big Dipper Gate leader? However, his words were a bit arrogant and overbearing. Chapter 48:14. No one would have thought that the Big Dipper Gate's gate master would actually say such words. He didn't take the three giants seriously at all. He didn't take the fake war god seriously either. He didn't take the others seriously at all. Everyone knew that a good show was about to begin. The three giants definitely wouldn't let this go. It was obvious that the battle was about to begin. No matter who it was, they all thought that the Slaughter Sect Master wouldn't be able to escape this time. They didn't believe that the Big Dipper Sect Master had become a fake war god. Even if he did, so what? Would he be able to beat the pseudo-war god experts invited by the three magnates? That was just wishful thinking. One could imagine what the result would be. The three giants didn't think that the Big Dipper Sect Master would say something like that at this time. They were ready to fight. It seems like the Big Dipper Sect Master has made his decision. Since that's the case, we will fulfill your wish. One of the giants said coldly and prepared to make his move. The other two giants did the same. Of course, the fake war god that they invited also looked at the Big Dipper Sect Master. Before we make our move, I think there's something I need to make clear to you guys. Otherwise, you'll lose your lives. After all, you guys are at the top. Lin Fei said calmly. The three tycoons waved their hands, signaling the people behind them to stop. They wanted to hear what the Big Dipper Sect Master had to say at this time. Could it be that he was going to surrender? If that was the case, then it would be great. They might actually spare the Big Dipper Sect Master's life. As long as he handed over the mysterious technique, everything would be fine. A ball of light appeared in Lin Fei's palm. The moment this ball of light appeared, everyone felt a terrifying sense of danger. Even pseudo-war god level fighters were the same. They felt a great sense of danger from this ball of light. It seemed like as soon as this ball of light moved, they wouldn't be able to escape. Everyone present seemed to be unable to escape from this calamity. This kind of thinking was very absurd, but in reality it was very impactful. Many people subconsciously took a step back because it was very likely that they would die in front of this light. There's a ray of light in my hand. This ray of light is one of my ultimate moves. In a moment, I will use my ultimate move. If any of you can withstand it, then my slaughter sect will naturally disband and cease to exist. But if you lose your life, then I'm sorry, I can only say that you are too weak. This time, everyone's expression changed even more. Even the three giants were the same. They had more or less underestimated the Big Dipper Gate Master. Could this ball of light be able to kill them? Wasn't this looking down on them a little too much? Whoosh! The ball of light quickly flew out. It turned into a stream of light. This stream of light was like a long and narrow Milky Way. It swept out majestically. In front of this Milky Way, everyone felt suffocated. The three leaders were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. The starlight instantly pierced through their bodies. In the face of this ball of light, all attacks were useless. At the same time, these pseudo-war god level fighters began to emit layers of terrifying light. This was their final struggle before death. The light continuously resisted the attack of the stream of light. The bright light only lasted for a moment before it was extinguished. In the blink of an eye, the light disappeared. The two pseudo-war god level fighters were instantly killed. Then, it swept through the entire path. All the experts that were originally standing in front of the slaughter sect were instantly killed by this stream of light. Silence. At this time, the scene was unusually quiet. Even the sound of his breathing became very suppressed. No one thought that the three giants, including the fake war god level combatants, would be killed so easily. They had no ability to resist at all. The people who were close by could even feel the power of this beam of light. It was so close that it would have drowned them. Cold sweat dripped down drop by drop. Whether it's the people here or the people in the void, I have no malice towards anyone. I just want to live longer, that's all. If anyone still has any ideas, feel free to come out and I will send them on their way. If not, then from now on, this area belongs to my slaughter sect. Lin Fei stood with his hands behind his back and said calmly, even if it was the three giants and the two war god level combatants, in front of Lin Fei, they were nothing. When he went all out, the power that erupted from the fusion of time and space instantly killed them. No objections, we have no objections. From now on, this area belongs to the slaughter sect. We agree. The three giants don't even have the ability to control this area. None of them dared to have any other thoughts. They immediately congratulated him. The three giants and the fake war god level combatants were all dead. It was obvious that this place belonged to the slaughter sect. Even the few kings in the depths of the void were the same. They were all deeply shocked by what they had just witnessed. They completely underestimated the power of this Big Dipper Gate master. Even though they couldn't tell what level this guy was at, his attack just now already had the power to kill a fake war god level combatant. It was very likely that he was a one-star war god level combatant. A neighbor like this really wasn't a good neighbor. Instead, he seemed to be quite aggressive. They were even more glad that they made this trip. If it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have known the true strength of this Big Dipper Gate master. Whoosh! The surrounding void collapsed in an instant. Layer after layer of power directly crushed their bodies, causing their blood and chi to churn. It wasn't easy for him to endure it, and he immediately slipped away without another word. They knew better than anyone else that this was definitely the Big Dipper Gate master's attack. To be honest, they were extremely angry. He actually dared to attack the three of them at a time like this. However, they didn't have any thoughts of doing anything. Before figuring out the situation, the Big Dipper Gate master could only watch and not do anything. Otherwise, they would be letting outsiders take advantage of them. In the blink of an eye, the three kings left extremely quickly and didn't stop at all. After killing the three giants, Lin Fei immediately led the slaughter sect's people towards the three giants' nest. They split into three groups. One group was Luo-yi Lu, the other group was the King of Thousand Demons, and he himself led a group. The three giant sects didn't expect their sect masters and experts to be killed in the blink of an eye. They were caught unprepared and didn't have the ability to resist at all. In half a day's time, the three sects were completely annihilated. In an instant, Lin Fei absorbed all the disciples into his body. In the blink of an eye, the slaughter sect had over 100,000 disciples. Chapter 48:15. 3 fake war gods died. 3 giants died, and 3 sects were annihilated. The slaughter sect had completely taken over this area, becoming one of the 108 kings. The news also quickly spread in the surrounding area, alarming countless forces. Everyone knew that the slaughter sect had finally broken out of this place. Up until now, nobody really understood this Big Dipper Gate master. They only knew that he was very strong. He killed 3 fake war gods by himself, so it was very likely that he was a real war god. Whether he was a 1-star war god or a 2-star war god, nobody knew. No matter who it was, this Big Dipper Gate master wasn't easy to negotiate with. He did things very decisively. People like him were hard to deal with. After the slaughter sect took over this area, they built many unique pagodas. Nobody knew what these pagodas were used for. Almost every place had one of these pagodas, covering the entire area. Luckily, there weren't many of them. There weren't many people who noticed it. They originally thought that this Big Dipper Gate master would do something new, but after taking over this area, he didn't do anything else. On the contrary, the entire slaughter sect maintained a rare silence. The neighbors next door also began to come to visit and send their congratulatory gifts. However, they didn't see the Big Dipper Gate master, only a black-robed guy. This black-robed guy was emitting an evil aura. One look and you could tell that he wasn't easy to deal with. Nobody thought too much about it. The Big Dipper Gate master didn't come out, so he was naturally breaking through. Because of this, everyone had a new view of the Big Dipper Gate. At least the Big Dipper Gate seemed to be thriving. Lin Fei really didn't go out much. To him, the commotion caused by taking over this territory was not small at all. His faith and honor points, in particular, were skyrocketing. Compared to before, it was many times faster. Of course, being the king of 108 wasn't that easy. An invisible pressure came along with it. The neighbors were like tigers watching their prey. After all, everyone was watching. Apart from that, there was also the backing of the three giants. After all, the three giants were supported by them. In other words, Lin Fei had offended three powers at once. If these three forces were to make a move, there would definitely be trouble. Compared to the rewards, Lin Fei really had nothing to fear. Successfully taking the first step was quite good for Lin Fei. Next, he had to take the second step. The second step was still a problem. Fortunately, Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry. He wanted to collect some faith and honor points first. The infinite body was slowly being upgraded. Someone is coming in this direction. Good heavens, it's actually a true war god. It seems that the true forces of the Yu Ming Mountain have arrived. Pseudo-war gods were nothing in Lin Fei's eyes. But if a real god of war came, things would be different. This meant that the forces behind them valued the slaughter sect. During this period of time, Lin Fei had also read through a lot of information about the Yu Ming Mountain. After taking down 3 sects, he naturally obtained a lot of information. This information also gave Lin Fei a better understanding of the Yu Ming Mountain range. If he wasn't mistaken, it should be the people from the Nether Palace. The Nether Palace was the strongest existence in the Yu Ming Mountain range. They were the top existence. The Nether Palace controlled the entire Yu Ming Mountain range because they had a top war god overseeing it. Anyone who tried to do anything to the Yu Ming Mountain range would have to face the war god's obstruction. That was why the demonic path forces could continue to live here. This top war god had paid a huge price. Naturally, the Nether Palace became a top existence. No matter what, they were still under the rule of the Nether Palace. Therefore, it was very likely that the war god of the Nether Palace was coming. After all, only the war god of the Nether Palace would be so arrogant. Lin Fei wasn't surprised at all. After the news spread, the Nether Palace would definitely come. This was because this area hadn't been integrated before. Now that he had integrated it, the people from the Nether Palace would definitely come to register. That would also mean that they would recognize his identity and status. However, he still needed to wait and see how they would recognize him. Not long after, 2 figures, one in front of the other, arrived at the slaughter gate. It was a middle-aged man and a young woman. Just like that, they arrived in front of the slaughter sect. Luo Yi, the vice sect master, was also here. You two are from the Nether Palace, right? Our sect master is already waiting for you inside. He even prepared tea to welcome you two. Luo Yi was also very proud of himself. After all, he was also a figure in the slaughter sect. Compared to the past, he was much more glorious. In his opinion, this was just the beginning. The slaughter sect would go further and further in the future. At this moment, Luo Yi didn't dare to be careless and was very respectful. He heard that they were from the Nether Palace. As a true demonic path expert, of course, he knew about the Nether Palace. It was a sacred place. Anyone who came out of that place could not be offended. Even if a small ant came out from there, he would still be a tyrant in the outside world. Your sect master seems to be quite fast. He knew that I was coming from so far away. I can meet your Big Dipper sect master." The middle-aged man laughed and walked inside. The young woman followed behind them. Lin Fei indeed prepared tea and waited for the arrival of the two from the Nether Palace. Not long later, the two came in one after the other. The first one was the middle-aged man. His eyes fell on Big Dipper, which was Lin Fei. This made the middle-aged man laugh. Big Dipper sect master is really strong. No wonder those three guys suffered so much. You really hid your strength. Lin Fei also laughed. I'm already a bag of old bones. It's lucky that I could break through. At least it's not bad now. You two must have worked hard. Quickly sit down and have a cup of tea. We can talk slowly. We have plenty of time. The middle-aged man and young woman sat down one after the other. After sipping a cup of tea, the atmosphere was quite peaceful. After a cup of tea, the middle-aged man put down the cup and said with a smile, "I'm from the Nether Palace. I understand the situation here. Now, I am here to tell you how to be 108 kings. I'm all ears." The level of this expert from the Nether Palace wasn't low. He was at least a 3-star war god. Quite strong. Lin Fei wanted to listen carefully. What kind of rules did these 108 kings have? Chapter 48:16. What the middle-aged man said wasn't a lot. On the contrary, it was very simple. Not just anyone could become one of the 108 kings. One needed to have some ability to do so. And among them, one had to pay tribute, a certain amount of resources, every month. This wasn't a big requirement for Lin Fei, and it wasn't difficult at all. He already had an idea before. He definitely couldn't run away from this. Lin Fei was a little surprised by the few requests that came after that. The Netherworld Palace doesn't forbid anyone from competing with each other, even between neighbors. As long as you have the ability, you can naturally compete. The middle-aged man said faintly, "And the most important thing is that as one of the 108 kings, you have to explore a devil area every 10 years. There are many devil areas in our Netherworld mountain." Lin Fei really hadn't heard of this. Perhaps it was because the people who got the information were too poor, so they didn't know about the devil area at all. It seemed that only the 108 kings in this devil area were qualified to do so. This is the map of the devil area in the Netherworld mountain. You can take a good look at it. All the areas marked in red have never been explored. As long as you explore the devil area and get a complete map, or bring out a certain number of silent devil weapons, the Netherworld Palace will give you a certain reward. The middle-aged man took out a map and handed it to Lin Fei. Lin Fei took it. This was an ancient map with a heavy sense of history. He opened it. He really saw the markings on it. The Abyssal Mountain Range was really big, much bigger than what Zhao Fu had imagined. There were some places in the Abyssal Mountain Range that had some demon areas. These devil areas were very unusual. According to the introduction, these devil areas were where some ancient forces were located. They were destroyed in the past, or for various reasons, they became devil areas. No one dared to enter them easily. After a long time, they became devil areas. They had to explore to know if there were treasures in them. These devil areas were very dangerous because there were some powerful demonic creatures living in them. These demonic creatures were invisible and colorless. It was also the most troublesome thing. Fortunately, these demonic creatures lived in these demonic areas and never came out. Otherwise, the Netherworld mountain range would have long been in chaos. Even war god level fighters don't dare to casually step into these demon areas. They had to form a team in order to have the ability to enter such a demonic area. After the middle-aged man introduced the situation of the Devil District, he left the Slaughter Sect. Before he left, there was something that surprised Lin Fei. Now that you are in control of this place, you can give it a name. From now on, you are the king of this area. Lin Fei had never thought of a name. Big Dipper is then. He didn't think too much about it and just gave it a random name. The middle-aged man said, "You are quite casual. From now on, you are the Big Dipper Demon King. In our Netherworld mountain range, the word Demon King is popular. When the name of Big Dipper Demon King spreads, you will have to undergo a half-a-year test. There will be some people who will come to challenge you. Only by defeating them will you be qualified to sit firmly on the position of Big Dipper Demon King. But you don't have to worry. You are not a war god level fighter yet. So those who come to deal with you will definitely not be a war god level fighter. You can be completely at ease about this. Just like that, the middle-aged man brought the young girl and left the Slaughter sect. Not long after, the news about Big Dipper Demon King spread, and this place was called Big Dipper Territory. It had an official label. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect another territory to be born. It's actually Big Dipper Territory. I wonder if anyone has the confidence to go and meet this Big Dipper Demon King. This is a good chance to reach the heavens in one step. Go, we must go. If we don't go this time, we will really miss the opportunity. Who knows when we will have such a good chance again? The news spread throughout the entire Hades mountain. After all, every time a territory appeared, it meant that something good had happened. That was a chance to reach the heavens in one step. As long as they defeated this Demon King, they would naturally be able to become the new Demon King. This was also a kind of benefit for the Hades Palace. Every time a Demon King territory appeared, there would naturally be a fierce battle that would last for half a year. No one knew how many experts would die during this period, but for the position of Demon King, everyone was absolutely willing. This was to obtain the approval of the Hades Palace, and with the approval of the Hades Palace, there was no need to go through any more tests. Every time a territory or a Demon King appeared, the scene would become extremely lively. Many figures were heading towards the Big Dipper Territory. Even the neighbors were rubbing their palms in anticipation. After all, such opportunities were really rare, so they arranged for their experts to meet the Big Dipper Demon King. Lin Fei also received the news immediately. Indeed, all kinds of people were heading here. It seemed like he wouldn't have much free time in the next half a year, but this was also good. He could probably earn a lot of honor points in half a year. At that time, his infinite god physique would be able to break through again. Lin Fei was quite satisfied with such a good thing, so he arranged for Luo Yi to build a huge arena outside the entrance. Using the mountain as the arena, directly flattening it, Lin Fei landed on the arena and waited for these experts to come. Now, he wasn't afraid of these experts. If they came one by one, he would be able to wipe them out completely. With the middle-aged man's words, Lin Fei also understood what he meant. If he wanted to stabilize his position, he would have to display thunderous methods. In other words, the more afraid he was, the more stable his position would be. In less than half a month, many experts had arrived outside the massacre gate. Outside the massacre gate, there were quite a number of experts. Each and every one of them was covered in dust. It looked like the Netherworld mountain range was quite big. The experts who came all looked at the Big Dipper Demon King. After all, in the entire Hades mountain, only those who obtained the approval of the Hades Palace were qualified to be called Demon King. The others weren't qualified to be called Demon King. This was also the rule of the Hades mountain, and the two words Demon King had great influence. Everyone was very interested in this Demon King. Now that a new Big Dipper Demon King had appeared, and in half a year's time, everyone was naturally prepared to meet him. Unfortunately, this Big Dipper Demon King was only a 10-star heavenly god expert. He wasn't a war god expert. Fortunately, pseudo-war god experts could still appear, because they belonged to a realm that was neither high nor low. Naturally, they were qualified. Chapter 48:17. This is the North Star Demon King. He looks so old. I wonder how he became a Demon King. Who knows? Anyway, the three giants all fell. The three of them tried to restrain each other, but none of them succeeded. They were caught off guard by this North Star Demon King. I can guarantee that this guy won't last half a month, let alone half a year. He will lose for sure. Hee, North Star Demon King. Just because of this name, His old bones are already half a foot in the coffin. It's just the right time to send him on his way. The people who came over couldn't help but laugh when they saw the white-haired North Star Demon King. This was like having 1 foot in the coffin. This kind of person was the easiest to deal with. They liked this kind of person the most. After all, a young and frivolous Demon King wasn't easy to deal with. An old Demon King was the easiest to deal with. Half a year. He could also make the other party suffer a crushing defeat in a battle of attrition. At the same time, a flying ship came over. This flying ship was quite big, and it stopped right outside the slaughter gate. Quite a few people noticed it as well. However, they didn't pay much attention to it. After all, this was too normal. This guy below is the North Star Demon King. He ruined our plans. The owner of this ship was called Lei Yun. He was the force that supported one of the giants. This time he specially came over to make the North Star Demon King suffer a great loss. Bei Haotian, do you see the North Star Demon King below? What you need to do is to kill him and take the position of Demon King. This way, you can become the leader of this area. With our support, it will be even easier to control this place. The one called Bei Haotian was a young man. This young man's eyes were red and white. They were very different. Only those who knew would know that this kind of eyes was considered a type of abnormal pupil. It possessed a terrifying mystique. I'm now a pseudo-war god level expert. I'm countless times stronger than him. When the time comes, I'll use my ultimate move to kill him. I won't give him any chance. Bei Haotian smiled coldly. Lei Yun was quite satisfied. He had absolute confidence in Bei Haotian and had absolute expectations for him to succeed. There's no need to go down now. Let that Big Dipper Demon King fight for a while first. Let him exhaust his energy and his condition. Only then can we kill him in 1 strike. Our demonic Dao doesn't need to pay attention to any methods. I believe that there will definitely be many people who use this method. Situations like this kept happening around him. Each of these figures had a powerful aura. At this moment, he was staring at the North Star Demon King as though he was a huge cake. It was as if they could take him down at any time. Lin Fei just sat quietly in the arena. Until now, no one had come down. Obviously, everyone was watching from here. All of you have come from afar. Are you just going to watch and not come down? You guys are quite interesting. Are you afraid that I will kill you with 1 strike? But you don't have to worry, I can kill you with 1 strike. I will definitely be able to kill you easily. There won't be too many thoughts, and there won't be too much pain. As soon as Lin Fei said this, everyone instantly became very angry. Everyone present was indeed watching. No one was willing to come down immediately. After all, everyone had heard that this guy was quite strong. 1 strike was enough to kill 3 giants and the fake god of war. As for whether he used a secret technique at that time, no one knew. Who didn't know that the North Star Demon King had 1 foot in the coffin previously and hadn't broken through his realm? Even now it was the same. Therefore, everyone was wondering if they should wait and see first. After all, the other party had a big killer move. There were still a lot of people who could take advantage of it. But now that these words came out, it was a little hard for them to accept. This North Star Demon King looked down on them too much. Originally, they wanted to wait and see. Just because of these words, they had to let him see what was called powerful. Swoosh! A stream of light directly rushed to the arena. What a good North Star Demon King. Just because of these words, I have to let you see what is called a life-taking saber technique. As soon as this person came down, he instantly unleashed a series of domineering saber techniques. 1 saber after another brought along traces of blood wind. It was very powerful. Lin Fei raised his hand and a saber light slid across his opponent's neck. He was directly cut in half and fell on the arena. Lin Fei shook his head. Looks like your life-taking saber technique isn't life-taking. What a pity, it's too weak. This was an 8-star heavenly god killed with 1 strike, just like that. Did everyone see that? I'm a person who never talks nonsense. I told him to leave easily, and I meant to leave easily. I killed him with one strike, without any chance to struggle. What do you think? Do my words still count? Everyone present almost spat out a mouthful of blood. How could there be such a thick-skinned guy? That saber just now was indeed quite terrifying. This also caused the 8-star heavenly gods to completely give up. It wasn't that easy to take advantage of it. There was already an unlucky guy. Isn't it just a powerful saber technique? What's so great about that? Another expert immediately came down. This was a 9 stars heavenly god expert who also used a saber. His saber swung wide and wide, but it was also destroyed by Lin Fei with one strike. At this moment, everyone realized that this North Star Demon King was most likely most proficient in saber techniques. His saber technique was also very terrifying. Just look at these people who had been destroyed. In the blink of an eye, he had killed 2 experts. The more this happened, the angrier everyone felt. They really didn't believe that this guy could last for half a year. There weren't many things in the Yumeng mountain range, but there were many demonic path experts. All of them wanted to sit on the throne of the Demon King. And so, a battle of attrition began just like that. From this moment on, Lin Fei was no longer idle. He kept killing these demonic path experts. First, it was 9 stars heavenly gods, then 10 stars heavenly gods. Most of them were 10 stars heavenly gods. There were also many people here who were studying how to crack saber techniques. Every time they felt that they had cracked it, they would go on stage, only to be killed as soon as they went on stage. This made everyone feel even more uncomfortable. Was this guy's saber technique so difficult to resist? It clearly looked very ordinary. Dozens of 10 stars heavenly gods had already died, let alone 9 stars heavenly gods. At this moment, everyone began to slow down. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Chapter 48:18. Over the past 3 months, countless demonic experts had died under Lin Fei's blade. No matter who went up, they were all killed by a single blade. Whether it was a 9 stars heavenly god or a 10 stars, none of them could withstand a single blade. From the beginning to the end, there were very few who could withstand the second blade. Even if they did, they would be killed by the second blade. So far, the most powerful person could only last until the third blade. He was a peak 10-star existence, only one step away from becoming a pseudo-god of war. This caused countless people to tremble in fear. This North Star Demon King was too terrifying. He was so old, but his strength was so powerful. It seemed that if there were no accidents, this guy should be able to secure the position of North Star Demon King. From now on, this place would be the North Star territory. He would become one of the 108 Demon Kings. Fewer and fewer people went up to fight. Without a certain level of strength, no one dared to go up. Even if there was someone, they would have to consider whether they could survive. This North Star Demon King was ruthless. One blade would mean life and death. Within 3 blades, he would definitely kill a demonic expert. If there are no accidents, no one will dare to come up. This North Star Demon King is too terrifying. That's right. We can't beat the North Star Demon King at all. This guy's strength is too deep. He clearly hasn't displayed the combat strength of a war god. I really don't know how strong this guy's foundation is. In such a situation, even if 10 stars heavenly gods are deployed, they probably won't be a match for this guy. Other than watching, there was nothing else these people could do. Even if some people were filled with hatred, they didn't dare to go up at this time, because once they went up, they wouldn't be able to come down. The surroundings of this arena were filled with the smell of blood. Lin Fei just stood there quietly. In these 3 months, he had killed countless experts. Naturally, he had gained a lot of hatred. Of course, in comparison, he had gained more honor points. This kind of harvest was all within Lin Fei's expectations. After all, There were definitely many people who wanted the position of Demon King. Therefore, there were also many people who hated him. Of course, there were also many who admired him. He had finally gained a foothold in the Yu Ming mountain range. Now, those who could still make a move against him should be those top-notch geniuses. Up until now, no one had made a move. Lin Fei calculated, according to the situation, it should be about time for him to show himself. He couldn't let himself continue. Otherwise, his morale would only grow. It was getting harder and harder for those people to make a move. Don't think that the heavens chosen are all fools. A loud rumbling sound rang out. The sky was filled with lightning bolts. A young figure walked out from the thunderbolts. As soon as this person arrived, he appeared along with the lightning. Everyone felt the terrifying aura of danger, and some people cried out in alarm. Ah, finally a top-notch genius has arrived. I heard that a pseudo-war immortal rank fighter can already kill a 1-star war god. I know this person. I think he's called Zhan Fengyin. I heard that it's the Zhan family from the 10 great families. This person was clad in black armor, and his momentum was ferocious. Wherever he passed, lightning would descend involuntarily. Everyone recognized him. It was the disciple of the Zhan family, Zhan Fengyin. Inside the Yu Ming mountain range, the 10 great families were also very influential. They also had war god ranked fighters and weren't any weaker than the super first-rate sections. Therefore, the super first-rate sects and the 10 great families were placed together. At this time, a disciple of the Zhan family actually came. This was a little unbelievable. Who would have thought that the Zhan family would also come? They were also eyeing this Demon King position. Perhaps this was even a form of training. North Dipper Demon King, I heard that you've already guarded for 3 months. Then let me see your true strength. There was a loud rumble. The sky was filled with lightning bolts that came crashing down. Every lightning bolt was filled with the aura of death. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. This lightning had reached the pseudo-wargod level. This kind of lightning was even more terrifying. It could completely destroy the physical body. For a genius like Zhan Fengyin, he had an advantage in battle. Many people didn't think that the North Dipper Demon King could handle it. Who didn't know that the North Dipper Demon King had 1 foot in the coffin? His physical body was extremely weak. It was impossible for him to take the lightning head-on. But in the next second, there was a loud rumbling sound. Similarly, the lightning bolts came crashing down, actually clashing with the opponent's lightning. The thunderbolts collided with each other, causing everyone to feel an immense pressure. There was a loud rumbling sound. Countless lightning arcs swam around. The surrounding people kept retreating, because if they weren't careful, they would be struck by the lightning. Their bodies went numb, and they almost couldn't stand properly. In an instant, the surrounding hundreds of thousands of miles had turned into a treacherous land. Don't think that you're so great just because you have lightning. You're really nothing to me. Lin Fei laughed out loud. Don't forget that he had the great art of thunderclap. When this thing clashed with the opponent's lightning, he instantly had a huge advantage. Every single lightning bolt collapsed. In the blink of an eye, Zhan Fengyin was enveloped by the sky full of lightning bolts. This change caused the people watching in the dark to suck in a breath of cold air. They didn't expect the North Dipper Demon King to have such a move. They thought that he was a saber expert, but he actually had a technique like lightning. He really hid his strength well. At this moment, everyone was glad that they didn't act rashly. Zhan Fengyin, who was enveloped by the lightning bolts, suddenly turned into a ray of light that revolved around him. It actually blasted all the lightning bolts away. It turned Zhou Shen into a vacuum zone. Zhan Fengyin walked out. He pulled out a saber from his back. This saber flashed with lightning as it slashed down. This saber landed in front of Lin Fei. He was actually a close combat expert. This saber instantly turned into dozens of saber lights. These saber lights did not follow the rules. They were very strange and hard to defend against. Then you have the right to see my lightning saber technique. There was a loud, rumbling sound. Wherever the saber technique passed, there would be lightning whizzing by. Most importantly, Zhan Fengyan's movement speed was shockingly fast, and these lightning bolts seemed to have been compressed, containing terrifying power. At this moment, everyone felt that this North Dipper Demon King was in great danger. Chapter 48:19. As expected of a disciple of the Zhan family, his attacks are different. I didn't expect him to be a close combat expert. I heard that his blade isn't an ordinary blade either. That's for sure. This Zhan Fengyan is ranked very high on the potential leaderboard. He'll definitely be a 5-star war god in the future. I heard that he's heavily protected by the Zhan family. There must be experts from the Zhan family protecting him nearby. I wonder if the North Star Demon King can handle it. It'll be tough for him. Previously, the methods that the North Star Demon King had displayed had indeed shocked everyone. They didn't expect him to have such a lightning technique. Who didn't know that lightning was known for destruction? It wasn't something that just anyone could master. Zhan Fengyan's speed was getting faster and faster. No one could see him anymore. Only the war gods in the dark could see Zhan Fengyan's movements. It was indeed terrifying. At such a young age, he had actually grasped the speed shift so quickly. If this continued, he would be able to master extreme speed. That would be truly terrifying. Your speed is pretty fast, and your blade technique is pretty fast. But there's nothing you can do to me. Lin Fei just stood there and didn't make any moves. Zhan Fengyan could feel the immense pressure from that single slash. That was because the power of the void was rushing towards him and bombarding his physical body. His opponent was able to pinpoint his position every single time. This made Zhan Fengyan extremely indignant. He had still underestimated the North Star Demon King. He had already slashed 30 times consecutively. Each slash could unleash dozens of attacks. In other words, he had unleashed hundreds of attacks in a short period of time, close to 1,000 slashes. Under such circumstances, the Northern Dipper Demon King was actually fine. That was the most unbelievable thing about it. Even the 2 war god level experts who had been protecting Zhan Fengyan exchanged glances and shook their heads helplessly. This North Star Demon King really hid his strength well. We've really underestimated him. Young Master Fengyan shouldn't be able to defeat him. This guy has definitely surpassed the level of a 1-star war god. I didn't expect him to have been suppressing his strength. The 2 war god level combatants could tell that the other party wasn't normal. Their young master wouldn't be a match for him even if he fought again. The other party was not enraged. No matter how one looked at it, it seemed like a warm-up exercise. The warm-up exercise is over. You can admit defeat now. Seeing that your potential isn't bad and that there are 2 war god level experts hiding in the dark, I'll spare your life. Lin Fei's words were light and airy. A ray of light flashed, and Zhan Fengyan, who was originally nowhere to be seen, appeared. He retreated countless steps, far away from the arena. He was the only one who had survived Lin Yun's attack. This caused countless people to be secretly shocked. With today's defeat, I will definitely avenge myself in the future. Zhan Fengyan's voice came from afar and then disappeared. This scene disappeared as quickly as it came, except for the arcs of light that were still flickering around them. It was hard to believe that Zhan Fengyan of the Zhan family was defeated just like that. I've just finished warming up. I don't know who's ready to go on stage. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Lin Feng smiled faintly at everyone. However, when this smile fell into everyone's eyes, it seemed to be filled with evil intentions. Even Zhan Fengyan of the Zhan family was no match for him. He was even chased away by you. How could they still have the guts? Even some of the hidden geniuses sucked in a cold breath. Their desire to defeat this North Star Demon King was much smaller now. But someone still appeared. Another figure walked out. "I, Bei Haotian, want to have a good fight with you. Let's see who's the strongest." Bei Haotian, who had been looking for an opportunity, finally found it. This time he had to defeat this North Star Demon King, no matter what. He really had to thank Zhang Fengyan. His strength was indeed far from Zhang Fengyan's, but he was confident that if he fought now, he would definitely gain an advantage. Fixed body art. A bead instantly flew out. As soon as this bead appeared, it caused the void to be in a state of stillness, following which Bei Haotian's 10,000 swords came together, and he used his ultimate move, 10,000 swords return. This move was rather terrifying. He had turned his energy into flying swords, and when he used it, its power would increase exponentially. It turned into a huge wheel of swords, and it directly pierced down. Even the void became still at this moment. No one would be able to withstand this killer move in such a situation. Bei Haotian had calculated it correctly. At this moment, the North Star Demon King's strength would definitely be affected. This way, he would be able to injure him severely. As long as he could injure him severely, then he would be able to kill this North Star Demon King. There was a loud rumbling sound. This huge wheel of swords pressed down. Everyone thought that the North Star Demon King's body was about to be penetrated. Just at this short distance, it seemed to have formed an uncrossable gap. Bei Haotian's technique actually couldn't move forward anymore. It was forcefully blocked. There was a loud rumbling sound. The pearl was enveloped by a force, and it slowly flew towards Lin Fei. In the blink of an eye, it landed in his hands. Of course, this moment wasn't fast, but it happened in the blink of an eye. The treasure in Bei Haotian's hands landed in Lin Fei's hands just like that. "You dare to take advantage of me with such strength? Even Zhang Fengyan couldn't do it, let alone you." There was a loud rumbling sound. A force directly crushed Bei Haotian's body. "Kacha, kacha!" Bei Haotian's body glowed brightly, and in the blink of an eye it collapsed. Following that, Bei Haotian let out a tragic cry. Blood splattered all over the sky. Bei Haotian, whom they had regarded as the pride of the heavens, was turned into ashes just like that. Even the experts in the void didn't expect Bei Haotian to be killed by the North Star Demon King just like that. This was a true pride of the heavens, a pseudo-war god level expert. "Seems like your strength can't even compare to Zhang Fengyan. What right do you have to be a pride of the heavens? You're too weak. If I didn't kill you, you would have been killed sooner or later. I'm just helping you out first," Lin Fei said plainly. A figure rushed out of the void, his anger soaring to the sky. "North Star, what's the meaning of this?" Chapter 48:20. After this figure flew out, everyone knew who it was. It was the sect expert behind Bei Haotian. They didn't expect him to be killed by this North Star Demon King, even with the sect's experts watching. They had really lost a proud son of the heavens. However, compared to Zhang Fengyan, he was much weaker. At least Zhang Fengyan managed to hold out for a long time, unlike Bei Haotian, who was directly killed by someone else. There was no harm without comparison. Zhang Haotian was really weak, just like what North Star Demon King said. If he didn't die in his hands, he would have been killed by others sooner or later. Are you deaf? Didn't you hear what I said just now? How dare he come with such strength? Even if I didn't kill him, someone else would. I'm just sending him on his way. If you can't stand it, do you want me to send you on your way too? You'll have a companion along the way. This expert was instantly enraged. He stared at North Star Demon King fiercely, the veins on his hands almost popping out. North Star Demon King, I'll remember what happened today. Let's wait and see. You'll regret it sooner or later. As soon as he said that whoosh, the surrounding area was instantly enveloped by ice. Even the void was frozen, following which a resplendent ray of light slashed over, followed by a groan. With a swoosh, it disappeared. Drop after drop of blood fell like flowers. An old man is indeed an old man. I didn't expect him to bring along a portable treasure. It's a pity I didn't kill you. The surrounding people all sucked in a breath of cold air. This North Star Demon King was too savage. They didn't expect him to dare to make a move. It seemed like that person was injured. Don't panic. It's fine. It's just that this person is too much. He's bullying the weak. I hate this kind of person the most. Lin Fei smiled faintly. This smile sent a chill down everyone's spine. This North Star Demon King really couldn't be defeated. In the next 3 months, no other genius dared to go on stage. Even if there were, they had absolute confidence in their strength. But once they went on stage, they were killed by Lin Fei on the spot. This time, everyone didn't have any more thoughts. Just like that, half a year passed in a flash. Lin Fei's status as the Big Dipper Demon King would also be secured. This area became the Big Dipper territory. After Lin Fei became the Big Dipper Demon King, he became much more low profile. Just when everyone thought that the Big Dipper Demon King would have some sort of idea, however, there was no sound at all. It was as if they had ceased all activities. Some people said that the Big Dipper Demon King was panicking. After all, Lin Fei had offended many people this time around. All sorts of rumors started to spread, especially the neighbors who didn't mind letting everyone know about the North Dipper Demon King. Ha 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 ha, my infinite divine body has finally reached the 20th level. It wasn't easy, it really wasn't easy. Inside the slaughtering gate, Lin Fei had finally upgraded his infinite god body. After spending almost a year's time, he finally reached the 20th layer. At the 20th level, there was a huge difference. The 20th level wasn't that easy to break through. Lin Fei had been waiting for a long time. Fortunately, he had been accumulating honor points fast enough. His honor points were rising quickly. Lin Fei had advanced a few levels and directly broke through to the 20th level of the infinite god body. At this moment, Lin Fei's physical body became even stronger. One punch after another was thrown out, and the void was smashed apart. This was the purest form of power. Lin Fei also realized that every time the infinite god body broke through, his physical body would become stronger. Such a good thing was simply too satisfying. With such physical strength, even if Lin Fei didn't use the power of time and space, his combat strength would still be very strong. 1. 2-star war god was a piece of cake. This wasn't enough. Far from it. No matter what, he had to upgrade the infinite god body to the 30th level first. After all, the experts that Lin Fei met recently weren't very strong. There was nothing for him to worry about. On the other hand, there were quite a lot of people secretly watching him, but no one dared to make a move. After all, he was recognized by the Nether Palace as the Big Dipper Demon King. Basically, no one dared to make a move in his territory. Master, I just received a piece of good news. I guarantee that you will be very happy. After Lin Fei came out, the King of Demons came to report the situation. This guy was now an active member of the collection of Faith Power. Other than the collection of Faith Power, there was also the Resentment Prayer Beads. This guy was definitely an expert in this area. Lin Fei didn't care about this guy and let him do whatever he liked. He just had to control his movements a little. Lin Fei didn't want him to cause too much of a commotion. If that happened, he would really become everyone's enemy. That wouldn't be a good thing. Fortunately, the King of Demons was quite obedient. Although there was a commotion, it wasn't too big. He didn't expect to receive good news as soon as he came out. The King of Demons was full of smiles. Good news! I'd like to hear what good news you've gathered while I was away. No matter what good news it was to Lin Fei, as long as it could improve his strength, it was the best news. After all, 500 years wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. If he wanted to improve his strength, he could only start from the honor value and the hatred value. No matter which aspect, it was best to improve both at the same time. That would be the best. When Master wasn't around, I arranged for many people to gather information. They found that the most special place in the Nether Mountain should be those demon areas. These demon areas have extremely heavy negative emotions. If there are no accidents, any demon area can let the main city harvest a lot of hatred. There is even a place that can harvest a lot of faith beads. This news was indeed good news for Lin Fei. It seemed that the king of demons was quite attentive. As for the hatred value, Lin Fei's thoughts weren't that intense. However, the faith beads were worth it. When the infinite god body broke through to the 20th level, Lin Fei naturally felt that it was different. If he could improve it again, it couldn't be better. Therefore, he wanted to hear what kind of situation it was. Then tell me about this faith bead. Where can I obtain this faith bead? He didn't know much about the Nether Mountain, so there were some things he didn't know. The king of demons was different. This guy had mastered a lot of small tricks. I heard that there is a holy land for cultivation in the Nether Mountain called the Land of Demon God. It is said that there are 99 levels. The higher the level, the more talent and potential one has. I heard that after reaching the 70th level, one can become a 9-stars war god in the future and become famous in the Nether Mountain. Chapter 48:21 Demon God Land. Lin Fei had never heard of it before. From what the king of demons said, this place seemed to be used to farm the power of faith, which was the so-called honor points. This made Lin Fei excited. It would be great if he could farm the honor points here. The 99th floor was indeed quite challenging. The king of 10,000 fiends slowly explained. Lin Fei finally knew what was going on. This demon godland was indeed quite interesting. He heard that it was a gathering of experts. However, it is said that one can only enter this place after a certain age. After this age, one can't enter. I heard that one can only enter if they are under 5,000 years old. They are considered to have super potential. The king of 10,000 devils added. He felt that these words were a little inappropriate. Within 5,000 years. This made Lin Fei a little surprised. However, this wasn't a problem for him. He only needed to know if this demon god land had honor points. I think this demon god land is the easiest place to farm the power of faith. The king of demons also received a lot of news. Of course, this demon god land was the most suitable place to farm the power of faith. Everything else seemed to be lacking a lot. You can think about it and go to the demon region to farm the resentment prayer beads. Lin Fei didn't have much need for the resentment prayer beads at the moment. Out of the 3,000 great Taos that could be exchanged, the most powerful one was the great Tao of destiny. However, this number was a little too much. So at this time, what Lin Fei cared about the most was the honor points. How could he farm as many honor points as possible? Anyway, he didn't have anything to do recently. Lin Fei pondered for a moment and decided to see what this demon god land was all about. He wanted to see if he could farm the honor points. If he could, it would be great. If he could come out of there and reach the 20th floor, that would be the best. Anyway, nothing would happen here for a short period of time. Even those guys wouldn't dare to show themselves easily. The 3 words, Netherworld Palace, were quite impressive. Before he left, Lin Fei decided that he had to play some tricks on his own. Therefore, when he left, he specifically cultivated a cultivation technique. He didn't usually practice this technique, but now he could finally put it to good use. That was the doppelganger art. Lin Fei hadn't really used this cloning technique, and now he felt that this doppelganger technique would come in handy. A part of his soul had been split. Then a doppelganger was cultivated. The clone's strength continued to rise until it reached the level of a 10-star heavenly god. Lin Fei also spent a lot of resources to go down. Fortunately, he had quite a lot of resources now. With a 10-star heavenly god overseeing this place, he would naturally be able to deceive others. With this doppelganger here, it would save him a lot of trouble. Even more so, it would not be easy for others to detect their tracks. With that, Lin Fei would be able to leave quietly. After informing the king of 10,000 devils and Luo Yi, Lin Fan went into seclusion. Lin Fei quietly left the slaughter sect. Furthermore, he was using the greater teleportation technique. This was a true divine ability. As soon as he left, no one noticed him at all. Once he was outside, Lin Fei returned to his original appearance. Of course, he couldn't use the appearance of Big Dipper. He had to return to his original appearance. Lin Fei maintained his cultivation level at the level of a 10-star heavenly god. This cultivation level was the most suitable in the Nether Mountain Range. It wasn't high nor low. It wouldn't attract anyone's attention. Lin Fei had already taken the map of the Demon God Land. It didn't take long to get to the Demon God Land from the Slaughter Sect. At most, it would take 10 days. If Lin Fei used the greater teleportation technique, his speed would be even faster. In just over a day, he arrived near the Demon God Land. As soon as he arrived near the Demon God Land, Lin Fei felt a powerful aura. These auras didn't move and seemed to be sitting cross-legged. After thinking about it, Lin Fei understood what was going on. These should be some guardians, protecting those favored by the heavens. After all, according to the king of 10,000 demons, this Demon God Land was definitely a place where the proud sons of heaven gathered. As soon as Lin Fei arrived, he felt a familiar aura. This familiar aura was none other than Zhan Fengyan, who he had fought with before. Compared to the last time, Zhan Fengyan's strength seemed to have increased by quite a bit. He had actually reached the level of a 1-star war god. This kind of improvement was too fast. Besides Zhan Fengyan, Lin Fei also felt many other powerful auras. He didn't need to guess to know that these guys were the proud sons of heaven. It was very normal for these experts to exist in the surrounding void. No one wanted any accidents to happen to these proud sons of heaven. Naturally, they had to arrange for experts to protect them. This was the only way to keep them safe. And these experts were all war god level powerhouses. Lin Fei was quite surprised. It was likely that all the powerful proud sons of heaven in the Hades Mountain and the war god level powerhouses were here. If they were all wiped out, Lin Fei found it interesting just thinking about it. After sizing them up a little, he didn't continue. He was afraid that the guardians would notice him. These guys weren't weak. If they really noticed him, it wouldn't be good. Lin Fei still hoped to farm some faith power here. He came here. Lin Fei casually found a place. He wasn't in a hurry to enter. There was only one entrance to the Demon God Land. It would only open once every half a year. Luckily, Lin Fei came in time. There was still half a month before the door would open. At the same time, Lin Fei heard a lot of news about the Demon God Land. This Demon God Land was a little different from what he imagined. Here, once every half a year, the people behind would be eliminated. So if one wanted to go further, they had to go to higher floors. Once they couldn't reach the standard, they would be thrown out. Lin Fei observed for a while. The people that were thrown out were more or less extremely strong. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed by. Lin Fei finally waited for the day to enter the Demon God Land. It was early in the morning. Then the door was opened again. After it reopened, one could enter the Demon God Land. Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry to go in. He wanted to take a look. Ha 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 ha. The Demon God Land is finally open. I didn't wait in vain. A burst of rumbling laughter drifted over. Those with weaker strength were directly shaken to the point that their blood and chi were churning. The war god level fighters who were sitting cross-legged also stood up. Their faces were filled with nervousness. A figure came through the air. Chapter 48:22. Dawson's figure flashed through the air. He gave people a great sense of oppression as soon as he appeared. He was like a mountain. No matter who it was, even war god level powerhouses, they all felt it hard to breathe. Someone exclaimed on the spot, 8-star war god Dugu Ijian. Why is he here? Why is he here? This is the Hades mountain range. Why would Dugu Ijian come here? I heard that this Dugu Ijian is very powerful. He only uses one sword to kill people. He has a very powerful sword skill. I heard that even a 9-star war god can't do anything to him. Many of the war god level powerhouses present could feel that this Dugu Ijian was different from before. As for those 1, 2, and 3-star war gods, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. This kind of expert was too terrifying. He didn't even make a move. Just the pressure from his body was enough to make people feel the aura of death, especially since this Dugu Ijian used sword skills. They heard that it was very terrifying. He could kill an enemy from 1,000 miles away, or even 1,000,000,000 miles away. He didn't expect that this person would come here. It seems that I didn't come to the wrong place. The land of divinity and demons is such an interesting place. Don't tell me that you don't want to invite us righteous experts in. Dugu Ijian was very young. He looked like he was in his 30s or 40s, but he was much older. With a wave of his hand, a crack appeared in the void behind him. Then some young people came. A total of 3 young people came and stood behind him. The young man in the lead was like a sharp sword that could be drawn at any moment. This caused everyone's heart to tremble. There were also some who recognized this person. I didn't expect Dugu Ijian to bring his favorite disciple here. He even gave this disciple a new name, Jian Lang. I heard that Jian Lang is very young, but he is very talented in the way of the sword. Don't think that he is only at the pseudo-war god level. I heard that his sword skills can make a 2-star war god feel the feeling of death. At this moment, Lin Fei was inwardly shocked. He didn't expect that he would come to the land of divinity and demons and that a righteous expert would come. Of course, he had heard of this Dugu Ijian. Dugu Ijian was a great master of the sword. Although he wasn't at the top, he was very strong, with the strength of an 8-star war god. Even a 9-star war god might not be able to suppress it. It could be said that this fellow was extremely powerful. However, this fellow was extremely low-key. It was said that he had been meditating on the transcendent Tao of the sword. He never imagined that he would come to the land of demon divinity. Even Dugu Ijian has come. I reckon that some other righteous experts will come as well. They definitely won't miss such a good opportunity. Originally, I wanted to farm some faith power, but now it seems that it will be a little difficult. Looking at the situation, Lin Fei knew what was going on. It wouldn't be long before experts arrived. Dugu Ijian appeared. A figure also flew out from the land of divinity and demons. As soon as this figure flew out, it instantly clashed with the other party. A saber light and a sword light fought for a few rounds. Then the two of them stopped. Dugu Ijian, you came to our nether mountain range like this. Aren't you afraid that all of us experts will join forces to kill you? At that time, the sword sect will lose a supreme expert. The one who spoke was a man in a black robe. His entire body was covered in black robes, but his aura was extremely strong. He was actually an 8-star war god. However, this 8-star war god couldn't seem to catch Dugu Ijian. Many of the war gods present could more or less see some traces. Even Lin Fei was the same. He could see it more clearly. This great expert of the demonic path really couldn't suppress Dugu Ijian. His opponent's sword art was very overbearing, very strange, and impossible to defend against. Even if Lin Fei encountered it, it would be the same, unless one's body reached an extremely powerful level. Otherwise, his opponent's sword art could easily cut open one's body. The sword in his opponent's hand was also a true divine weapon. If there was no accident, it should be a true top war god weapon. Lin Fei was also glad that he came to this place. He didn't expect to see an 8-star war god right away. Moreover, there were 2 of them. He knew that the land of divinity and demons would have some powerful war gods guarding it. He didn't expect that they would be 8-star war god powerhouses. Dugu Ijian laughed. Since I dare to come from the land of divinity and demons, that means I have absolute confidence in myself. Unless your abyssal mountain ranges war gods want to die, they won't easily make a move. Don't you think so? Moreover, I've also comprehended a great killing move. If you want to experience it, I guarantee you'll be satisfied. Dugu Ijian's words were filled with endless arrogance. He simply didn't care about this 8-star war god in front of him. You can't make the decision here. We just want to enter the land of divinity and demons and let them gain some experience. Either you agree, or I will start a massacre here. I've already cultivated 10,000 swords returned to origin. These war gods here might not be able to block my 10,000 swords returned to origin. Don't you think so? The 8-star war god's expression changed on the spot. Of course, he had heard about it. As a demonic path expert, how could he not know what kind of moves an expert like Dugu Ijian had? But he never expected that this fellow would actually successfully cultivate 10,000 swords returned to origin. This was a true super young master's move. Within the range, he could kill anyone. There were so many proud sons of heaven present and so many war gods. If Dugu Ijian really went all out, these people might not be able to block him. Ha 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 ha, devil class, you better get out of the way. Otherwise, you experts won't be able to block a single attack from us righteous path experts. There was a loud rumbling sound. Another crack appeared in the void, and another tall figure came over. This person was like a small mountain. There was a loud rumbling sound. The blood of some proud sons of heaven began to tumble on the spot. Just like that, a huge man came over, carrying a super big sword. This large saber was like a door plank. It was very domineering. Overlord Saber, Saber Ihai. The great demonic path expert, devil class, also recognized this person. His heart tightened. One Dugu Ijian was already very difficult to deal with. He didn't expect another Saber Ihai to come. This fellow's strength was even more domineering. The large saber that was like a door plank was truly sharp and invincible. If one didn't have a top defensive treasure armor, they wouldn't be able to withstand a single saber. It was directly cut in half. It was unknown how many great experts had been killed by this saber. The memory was still fresh in their minds. Since you know I'm Saber Ihai, what are you waiting for? Do you want to fight with me? Chapter 48:23. The appearance of Dugu Ijian. Just this alone was enough to make the war god experts of the devil path feel incomparable pressure. They were afraid that this guy would use his ultimate move, especially the 10,000 returning swords. They had all heard of it. It was absolutely terrifying. Within a certain range, there was no way to escape, nor could they withstand it. One slash, and they would be killed. What's more, there were so many geniuses here. Many of them regretted coming here. If they knew that they would all come to the land of divinity and demons, they wouldn't have come. Now, in front of this expert, they really didn't dare to move or say anything. They were afraid that they would be killed by a single slash if they weren't careful. That demon class expert's expression changed when he saw the two experts. To be honest, he had no confidence at all. I'm really surprised that the two of you came from so far away. Since you like the land of divinity and demons so much, then what's the harm? Just go in. But if there's a small accident, don't blame us for not warning you. A figure broke through the air and walked out. This voice also came from a black robe, but he was shrouded in a black fog. Once he appeared, the demon class next to him immediately seemed to have found their backbone. Crocodile King. Whether it was Dugu Ijian or Dao Ihai, when they saw this person, they called out in unison. Even the great experts on the side of the devil Dao felt happy. They didn't expect the Crocodile King to come. It should be known that in the Hades Mountain, the Crocodile King could be ranked in the top 20 experts. They were both at the 8-star war god level, but he had an invincible defense. Not everyone could deal with this Crocodile King. So the two of you still remember me. I thought that the experts of the demonic path in the Hades Mountain couldn't withstand a single blow. Since you know my name, what do you think of my words? If you don't like it, then I can only fight with you. I might not be good in other areas, but my defense is pretty good. Even if I fight with you for 3 days and 3 nights, it won't matter." The Crocodile King's voice wasn't loud, but to these people, they all felt that it was different. It should be known that among the experts of the demonic path, the Crocodile King was the hardest to deal with. Be it Dugu Ijian or Dao Ihai, both of them felt a certain amount of pressure. This guy's defense was indeed quite strong, and he himself was a huge poison. Once they were in the surroundings, the poison would spread everywhere. Therefore, it was quite stressful to fight with this person. If it was another 8-star war god, they naturally wouldn't have any objections. However, the Crocodile King was a different story. It was definitely going to be difficult to deal with. We brought our disciples here to gain experience. After all, this is the only way for them to improve. If they die inside, it only means that they are weaker than us. What do you think? The Crocodile King looked at Dugu Ijian and Blade Ihai in surprise. The two of them had actually come all the way here. Moreover, they had even used this kind of spatial treasure. This was quite a rare sight. Of course, he knew that these two experts of the younger generation had a certain amount of influence. If nothing unexpected happened, they would become some great experts in the future. Looking at them, there were also quite a few geniuses on their side, but not many of them could be compared to them. If he really went in, he didn't know what the situation would be like. This was because not even 8-star war gods like them could enter the land of divinity and demons. Even if a 9-star war god came, it would be the same. The dark mountain range welcomes you. Lin Fei, who was watching their every move from below, was quite surprised. He didn't expect to encounter such a thing. The experts on the demonic path side were also quite strong, especially this Crocodile King. Even Lin Fei could feel that the opponent's defense was very strong. He must have cultivated a special cultivation method. Furthermore, it was a body-tempering cultivation technique. Just by looking at the surface of his physical body, one could tell what was going on. Those scales were definitely filled with powerful defensive power. I wonder what kind of magic did he use? The means. It was no wonder that Dugu Ijian and Dao Ihai chose not to act against such a person. There was absolutely no meaning in fighting. This made Lin Fei even more eager to cultivate the infinite divine body. He had only cultivated to the 20th level. No matter what, he had to continue cultivating. When he broke through the 30th and 40th levels, his body would be truly powerful. Perhaps today would be his chance. After all, no matter how strong the demonic path's proud sons of heaven were, Lin Fei didn't think they were that strong. He had already checked just now. There really weren't any powerful proud sons of heaven. However, the righteous path was different. These proud sons of heaven were either at the pseudo-war god level or 1-star war god level. However, their foundations were much stronger. If they were in the same realm, they would be instantly killed. If he could defeat them all, he would be able to gain a lot of faith, which was also honor. He would be able to establish his own presence on the demonic path side. This was the path he wanted to walk. Lin Fei was also glad that this Crocodile King didn't fight with Dugu Ijian Dao Ihai. Otherwise, it wouldn't be easy for him to borrow their fame to establish his own presence. Now he just had to go in. Then it's a deal. Dugu Ijian and Dao Ihai looked at each other and agreed with the Crocodile King's words. After all, this was the world of demonic path experts. The two of them came in because they were sure that no 9-star war god would attack them. Generally, there were only a few 8-star war gods. If they really fought, there wouldn't be any pressure. This was also the reason why they brought their disciples here. This demonic god's land was definitely a good place. Dugu Ijian first sent the 3 disciples behind him in. At the same time, he gave them some instructions. Once you go in, just try to break through. Let me see what kind of potential you have. Don't embarrass yourselves. The 3 of them were sent in. After that, they were Dao Ihai's disciples. This time, he brought 5 disciples with him. All of them were saber experts. They were also sent in. After they went in, it was the demonic path's turn. The The Crocodile King calmly looked at these proud sons of heaven. The chance to make a name for yourself is here. If anyone has the guts to go in and come out, then they can enter the demonic path's holy land and cultivate for a year. As soon as these words came out, the proud sons of heaven felt an incomparable attraction. Chapter 48:24. The Crocodile King's words were filled with great attraction. In particular, the words demonic path holy land gave many people a great idea. Lin Fei felt this the most. The geniuses in the surroundings all made their move. In an instant, many figures rushed in as well. The demonic path holy land was definitely a place worth visiting. When Lin Fei came, he also learned about it. After all, the Nether Mountain Range was a very special place for the demonic path holy land. It was said that one could improve their cultivation method once they entered, turning it into a super powerful cultivation method. Although the probability wasn't high, it was enough to make one's strength soar. However, it was too difficult to enter the demonic path holy land. Only those true proud sons of heaven had the chance to enter the demonic path holy land. Most of the war gods had entered the demonic path holy land before. If they hadn't entered the demonic path holy land, they wouldn't be able to call themselves a war god. As for what kind of treatment they would receive inside, even Lin Fei wasn't sure. Now that these proud sons of heaven entered, Lin Fei didn't stay idle. He directly followed them in. As he approached the land of divinity and demons, he saw a light appear. If he wasn't wrong, it should be a check. If he exceeded the age limit, he should be stopped. Lin Fei directly used the Great Tao of Time. The Great Tao of Time was very special, mysterious, and mystical. Like this, it caused Lin Fei to undergo a complete transformation. When the light fell on Lin Fei's body, there was no movement at all. Like this, Lin Fei smoothly passed through. Just as Lin Fei passed through, the fellow behind him wasn't so lucky. A seemingly young fellow directly rushed over. As soon as he arrived, he was enveloped by the light. With a miserable scream, he turned into nothingness. And this scene was seen by Lin Fei. He couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. He finally knew why even an 8-star heavenly god didn't dare to enter. So this place was actually so dangerous. The land of divinity and demons actually had such a great array formation. It was unknown just who had left it here. This method was too terrifying. Even if a 9-stars war god were to come here, he would also be reduced to ashes. No wonder the experts of the righteous path did not dare to enter. Even if he had the guts, he didn't have the strength. After all, Lin Fei could clearly feel the instant kill just now. No matter who it was, they would definitely suffer a great loss. Crocodile King looked at these geniuses who went in and breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what, the Devil Path experts had to suppress those guys this time. Otherwise, he would really have no place to put his face. It was the same for the Devil class at the side. Since he couldn't take down Degu Ijian and Dao Yihai, he would vent his anger on the other disciples. It would be a good thing if they were killed inside. Therefore, he was really looking forward to those geniuses who went in and killed them. Otherwise, the demonic path experts of the Nether Mountain Range would really become a big joke. The current demonic path experts were not as tyrannical as before. If they ran outside, they would be caught in a net by the righteous path if they weren't careful. Only the Nether Mountain Range was relatively safe. Of course, if one wanted to increase their strength quickly in the Nether Mountain Range, they had to constantly train. If the righteous path didn't exterminate you, then the demonic path would exterminate themselves. This rule had always existed. Degu Ijian, Dao Yihai, and Dao Yihai also saw the scene just now. They knew a long time ago that the entrance to the land of divinity and demons was very dangerous. Without a certain level of strength, it was impossible to enter. They didn't dare to try at all. They just felt that the land of divinity and demons was a bit exaggerated. They didn't expect that they would feel it just now. It was really terrifying. It could be said to be super terrifying. No one would be able to withstand this move, not even the two of them. Their hearts were filled with cold sweat. Fortunately, they didn't recklessly go in. The Nether Mountain Range was still very dangerous. No wonder the Righteous Path experts didn't dare to enter. They also received the news this time. Those 9-star war gods weren't here, so they came in like this. If there were 1 or 2 9-star war gods, then leaving wouldn't be a problem. After all, the current Nether Mountain Range wasn't the same as it was in the past. In the past, when all the experts were here, they really didn't dare to enter. If I'm not mistaken, there really isn't a single expert on the demonic path side that can fight. Dao Ihai lightly said. Dugu Ijian also lightly said, "That's true, but these demonic path experts can't be underestimated. Who knows whether or not they are hiding their strength? Once they make a move, they will go all out. Don't hold back." These two people had fought with demonic path experts before. They also knew that these demonic path experts had many methods, and they would hide their strength. Often, they would erupt with a killing move at a critical moment, making it so that you couldn't block it. This kind of situation was very common. As soon as Lin Fei entered, he found himself in a large hall. This hall was empty. Besides a few pillars, there was nothing else. Instead, the people who came in before seemed to be frantically killing some black demonic creatures. That's right, some black demonic creatures. These demonic creatures looked like humans as they directly attacked. Kill them and you can get the key. Only with the key can you break through to the next level. Or we can join hands and snatch the key from the other people's hands. This way, we can also enter the next level. I heard that for every 10 levels, there will be a small reward. These demonic path experts who came in all started to kill these demonic creatures. These demonic creatures would appear from time to time, and their movements were very strange. Even for a moment, he actually couldn't detect them. This also made Lin Fei a little surprised. A loud rumbling sound unceasingly spread out in this level of the hall. Lin Fei didn't see those righteous path experts just now. If he was not mistaken, could it be that they have entered the next level? Lin Fei found that this level of the palace was very big. At a glance, there was actually a layer of power isolating it. This also made the hall seem to have become a lot bigger. In an instant, a few black demonic creatures appeared around Lin Fei. As soon as these demonic creatures came over, they were instantly cut into several pieces and fell to the ground. There was no such thing as a key. If it's just the key, it's easy. Lin Fei's eyes narrowed slightly, and in an instant he cast the Great Karma Technique. In front of the Great Karma Technique, Lin Fei instantly locked on to the figure of a demonic creature. With one slash, he killed the demonic creature and casually took a key in his hand. Chapter 48:25. Lin Fei's Great Karma Technique finally came in handy. He could easily lock onto which demonic creatures had the key. There was a clang. Lin Fei obtained the first key and easily reached the next level. The second and third levels. He went all the way to the 10th level. To Lin Fei, there was no pressure at all. At the same time, he didn't see any powerful geniuses, nor did he see any righteous path experts. For example, Jian Lang. For example, Blade Ihai's disciples were the same. He couldn't see any trace of them at all. He didn't expect them to be so fast. Lin Fei wasn't surprised at all. After all, they were either demonic path experts or righteous path experts. They more or less knew some information. Even if they brought some treasures, how could they find these keys? Seriously, it was not an easy task to obtain the keys from these demonic creatures. One had to either rely on luck or treasures. Not everyone could use the Great Karma Technique like Lin Fei did. In a short time, he reached the 10th level. After reaching this level, Lin Fei found it a little interesting, because from this level onwards, the number of demonic creatures increased. At first glance, it looked like the same hall, but it was densely packed inside. It wasn't easy to find the key among so many demonic creatures. Lin Fei first used the Great Karma Technique to sense it. The corners of his mouth rose, and he couldn't help but smile. Good heavens! There were so many demonic creatures, but there wasn't a key among them. This surprised Lin Fei a little. He didn't expect the land of divinity and demons to have so many checkpoints. It seemed like he had to exterminate this batch of demonic creatures. Only then would he be able to find the key in the next batch. If he wasn't wrong, the people who went in first should have obtained the key, so the people who came in later would feel the pressure. If others encountered so many demonic creatures, it wouldn't be easy to kill them. In the end, it depended on luck. Lin Fei sneered and rushed in. He instantly used the great cold ice technique and froze all the demonic creatures. Following that, the thunder rumbled down. In the blink of an eye, these demonic creatures were completely annihilated. After exterminating this batch of demonic creatures, more black shadows appeared in the blink of an eye. Then, more demonic creatures appeared. Lin Fei knew it would be like this. Then he saw another group of monsters. Good Lord, there was no key in this batch of monsters. Lin Fei could only say that his luck was bad. Fortunately, Lin Fei had a solid foundation, so these demonic creatures were not that difficult to kill. As expected, he finally found the key in the next batch. There were 3. The matter of the key was also random. Lin Fei continued reading. Very soon, the 20th floor. He didn't know how long it took, but Lin Fei felt that it was quite fast. On the 20th floor, Lin Fei finally smiled, because he heard the sounds of fighting. If he was right, it should be the demon and righteous path experts gathering together. You demon disciples won't be so lucky today. It was okay if you didn't chase, but since you did, then I shall grant you your wish. Sword technique. Formless. Lin Fei saw the fight as soon as he came in. He even saw an old acquaintance. It wasn't anyone else but Zhan Fengyin. He actually met a disciple that Dugu Yijin brought. This disciple used a 2-handed sword, and each sword was formless and colorless. At the start, Zhan Fengyin was able to block it, but in the blink of an eye, many wounds appeared on his body. These scars were still expanding. Lin Fei wasn't surprised that this Zhan Fengyin was a disciple of a family, because this family was from the demon path. It wasn't easy to have a demon path family in the top 10 families, but at this moment, Zhan Fengyin really wasn't his match. His sword technique was really terrifying, and he couldn't catch a trace of it at all. All of Zhan Fengyin's defensive and offensive methods weren't his match at all. Scars covered his entire body, and it was a ghastly sight to behold. The young disciple danced his sword quickly, one sword after another, laughing out loud. Let me tell you, you aren't my match. My sword technique specializes in breaking through all kinds of defenses and physical bodies. Break for me. The 2-handed sword instantly turned into an attack. Zhan Fengyin was sent flying, leaving a long wound on his body. He only managed to stabilize himself after taking a few steps back. He knew that he wasn't his match. Looking at the demon path disciples lying on the ground, he realized that the disciple that Dugu Yijin brought was really strong. He didn't think that he would die here today. Previously, he died in the hands of an old man. He didn't think that this time he would die in the hands of a young man. His 1-star war god level strength was truly a waste of cultivation. Do you see that? This is the difference between us. It's as easy as flipping my hand to kill you. Even if you're a 1-star war god, it's the same. You don't have the right to be arrogant in front of our sword sect. Let me fulfill your wish. I've been using a book reading app recently. Source changing app. Read the book in memory. Read it offline. The 2-handed sword slashed over once again, but just as it neared Zhan Fengyin, a layer of frost appeared and blocked his attack. A wave of coldness hit the opponent. With a loud rumble, the opponent floated out and landed far away. Who are you sneaking around? Get the hell out here. The young man was shocked. Someone actually came over, and he didn't sense it at all. Didn't that mean that another expert had come? Then a figure walked out unhurriedly. The young man squinted his eyes. This person was very young and unfamiliar. He wasn't a famous expert at all. He raised his hand and a ray of sword light came over. Lin Fei raised his hand and grabbed the ray of sword light. With a crack, the ray of sword light shattered. After all, Lin Fei's physical body had reached the 20th level. I heard that you're Dugu Ijian's disciple, and a very strong one at that. I want to see how strong your sword technique is. Lin Fei said calmly. But to Zhang Fengyun and the young man, they instantly felt the pressure, especially the young man from the sword sect. That ray of sword light was extremely powerful. It contained more than a dozen transformations, but it was grabbed by the opponent just like that. It was easily broken. When did such a powerful heavens pride appear on the side of the demonic path? He didn't even hear about it. Don't think that you're strong just because you blocked one of my moves. Eat my formless sword technique first. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The chain sword technique was unleashed. Chapter 48:26. The moment the chain sword technique was used, streaks of sword light appeared around Lin Fei. Every sword light was invincible and terrifying. Even Zhang Fengyun didn't dare to get close. He didn't expect this sword sect disciple to still have some tricks up his sleeves. This sword technique was much stronger than before. If he were to face him head-on, he definitely wouldn't be able to take it. However, he still couldn't recognize where this young man came from. His strength seemed to be ridiculously strong. Pung 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 pung. Every time the sword light landed on Lin Fei's body, it would be bounced off by an invisible barrier. No matter how many sword lights there were, it was the same. They couldn't affect Lin Fei at all. Lin Fei just stood there quietly with his hands behind his back like a peerless expert. But to this young man, Fang Kuan, this was a scene that he couldn't accept. Fang Kuan had never thought that he would meet such a powerful demonic expert here. His two-handed sword technique couldn't do anything to him. Suddenly, the two-handed sword turned into a sharp sword light. Like a crescent moon, it instantly slashed over. So, this sword light was much stronger than before. It sliced through Lin Fei's defense and landed lightly on Lin Fei's body. Fang Kuan's face finally revealed a look of joy. It seemed like he still had to use his secret technique. However, when this sword light landed on his body, there was only a crisp sound. There was no movement. Not bad, not bad. You even have a secret technique to break through my defense. However, you can't break through my second floor. What a pity. Lin Fei raised his hand. There was a loud rumble. The lightning bolts struck down, followed by a layer of frost that enveloped them. Fang Kuan was instantly enveloped by the cold. There was a loud rumble of lightning. Fang Kuan withstood it. The sword intent in his hands had even turned into an invisible defense. He really blocked it. However, he immediately realized how strong this technique was. The coldness continued to invade him. The lightning continued to seep into his body. In this way, he had no advantage at all. The more he persisted, the more pain he felt. There seemed to be no end to the endless frost and thunderbolts that came crashing down. Kacha! Kacha! Boom! All the defenses on his body were instantly penetrated, and he began to vomit blood. This is just a casual move of mine, yet you can't take it anymore. It seems that you're not qualified to make me punch you. Before Fang Kuan could say anything, the lightning and frost came again, and this time they were even more powerful than before. Whoosh! This time he couldn't bear it at all. He was immediately frozen. Then, a bolt of lightning landed on his body. With a boom, he was sent flying. When he landed on the ground of the palace, his entire body was covered in frost. Black smoke rose from his body. That one strike just now had already caused him serious injuries. You, who exactly are you? There isn't anyone as powerful as you in the Devil Dao. Lin Fei walked over. You don't have the right to know who I am. Who asked you to be so weak? I haven't attacked yet, but don't worry, I won't kill you. There's no point in killing someone like you. Lin Fei looked down at the sword sect's disciple from above. Suddenly he raised his hand. Fang Kuan couldn't take it at all. A wave of energy enveloped his body. Pung pung ping pong. Thousands of arrows pierced his heart. Fresh blood dripped down. Look, I haven't even attacked, and you're already like this. How do you expect me to go all out? Lin Fei calmly made his move again. But to Zhan Fengyan, the scene in front of him was too terrifying. This Devil Dao expert was really strong and invincible. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. He didn't have the aura of a war god, but his strength was unfathomable. Fang Kuan, who he couldn't even beat, was easily destroyed by him. Most importantly, this guy said that he didn't go all out. These were just some small tricks. But even these small tricks made Zhan Fengyan take a deep breath. At the same time, he felt very helpless. He had already broken through to a 1-star war god, but his strength was still weaker than his opponent's. Looks like I have to go back and continue my breakthrough. All right, you can scram now. Your fellow disciples will be coming out soon. That's what I said. Lin Fei said plainly. Fang Kuan was very unwilling, but he still crushed the small teleportation talisman. Whoosh! He was sent out. Thank you, brother, for blocking Fang Kuan for me. Otherwise, I would have lost my life. These righteous disciples are much more ferocious than us demonic disciples. Once they make a move, they will definitely kill them. Zhan Fengyan said gratefully. The only thing he couldn't understand was why this guy let Fang Kuan go. Couldn't he just kill him? If he let such a person go and break through, who knows how many Devil Dao experts would die? Of course, Lin Fei wouldn't say that he let Fang Kuan go to farm honor points and power of faith. He wanted to let the outside world know that Devil Dao had produced a great expert. Isn't it good to keep this kind of trash for you guys to train? If I kill them, you guys won't have any motivation to train. Don't you think so? This time, it was Zhan Fengyan's turn to be shocked. These words really left him speechless. If he killed these experts, they would really lose their training targets. All right, you can slowly train. Your strength is still too weak. You can't even beat a sword sect disciple. You disappoint me. Lin Fei didn't even look at Zhan Fengyan as he continued forward. A large number of demonic figures appeared around him. It was those demonic creatures. A punch flew through the air. One of the demonic creatures was killed, and the key that fell out. Zhan Fengyan saw this scene clearly and was even more shocked in his heart. He found the demonic creature so quickly, and it even dropped a key. From start to finish, Zhan Fengyan didn't see what methods he used. He was sure that the demonic creature would drop a key just like that. This was much more powerful than theirs. Lin Fei quickly entered the next level. At the same time, outside the land of God and Demon, Crocodile King and Demon Class were sitting cross-legged. As for Dao Yihai and Dugu Yijian, they were the same. They were all waiting for the final result here. Of course, the result wouldn't be out so quickly. On the other hand, Crocodile King's expression was a little ugly. Some of his life jewels were broken. These life jewels had a trace of his life energy within and were connected to each other. Once this life energy collapsed, it meant that the other party had completely disappeared. With a walla sound, a figure came out. Dugu Yijian also moved at this moment. Chapter 48:27. Dugu Yijian made his move. In an instant, everyone's expression changed. They didn't expect Dugu Yijian to make his move. When he made his move, the Crocodile King and Devil Class also came over. They wanted to know who the person was, because from the start until now, no one had come out. Not even the demonic disciples, because they all died inside. One could imagine that the disciples these two war gods brought were all vicious and merciless. They wouldn't let the demonic disciples come out. Normal demonic disciples wouldn't be able to stop them. Even the most powerful demonic disciples no matter how strong they were, wouldn't be able to find this gap in a short period of time. After all, activating the teleportation talisman required time. Without a certain amount of time, they wouldn't be able to do it. In just 2 or 3 breaths of time, they might be killed. This isn't someone from your demonic path. He's my disciple. Don't tell me the 2 of you want to join in as well. Dugu Ijian said calmly. Following that, the figure returned to his original position. Dao Ihai hugged his blade with both hands and smiled faintly. In fact, even he was surprised by this. He didn't expect that the person who came out would be Dugu Ijian's disciple. He remembered that this person was called Fong Kuan. He was also an expert with great potential. Even though he wasn't a 1-star war god, he barely had the strength of a pseudo-war god. Even a 1-star war god wouldn't be able to handle his combat strength. But now he was the first to be chased out. His body was riddled with wounds. The Crocodile King and Devil class looked at each other and retreated. They couldn't help but be curious. Among the demonic disciples that went in, was there someone who was hiding his strength? Otherwise, how could Fong Kuan be injured? The 2 8-star war gods could naturally see through this person's strength. He was indeed quite powerful. In a one-on-one fight, he wasn't someone any demonic expert could beat. But now his injuries were quite severe. Most importantly, he actually came out alive. This was a little unbelievable. Could it be that the demonic expert was merciful? Logically speaking, that was impossible. The demonic path had always been vicious and merciless. They weren't any worse than the righteous disciples. Dugu Ijian immediately took out a healing pill and gave it to Fong Kuan to eat. He stabilized the injuries on his body. Just now he had already taken a look. The injuries on Fong Kuan's body were indeed very tragic. It could be said that it was a one-sided injury. What surprised them was that the other party didn't kill him. Based on the situation, the opponent's strength was definitely overwhelming. Killing Fong Kuan was also a matter of course. Now they could not see through it. Since when would a demonic path expert be so kind? After a while, Fong Kuan slowly woke up. When he saw his master, he was immediately energized. When he thought of what he had encountered inside, his expression instantly became one of shock. Master, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I met a powerful fellow inside. His strength is unfathomable and I'm not his match. Even my little life was spared by him, and he said that he wanted me to be a training target for other heavenly geniuses. How hateful! Fong Kuan's words were not very loud, but everyone present heard it clearly. His heart was shaken, especially the Crocodile King and the Devil class. It was as if they had heard wrongly. Someone actually defeated Fong Kuan and left him alive as training. This style was too bold and unrestrained. No matter what, these words came from Fong Kuan's mouth. Naturally, the 2 8-star war gods had a trace of emotion on their faces. At least they did not lose face this time. In any case, they managed to gain some face. Who asked so many demonic path disciples to die? One after another, their life jewels were shattered. How could they not feel proud? Now they could finally take a breather. Dugu Ijian and Dao Ihai's expressions naturally turned ugly. They never thought that there would be an expert sneaking in here. To be able to crush Fong Kuan and chase him out and still show mercy, this person's strength was definitely high. At the very least, he had the strength of a 2-star war god. However, they didn't notice such an expert at all just now. Now, they couldn't help but worry. Demonic path experts were indeed cunning. They had completely misjudged them. You don't have to look at us like that. You know how powerful the land of divinity and demons is. It is impossible for an expert over 5,000 years old to enter, the Crocodile King said coldly. He naturally understood what Dugu Ijian would say. He would say that the demonic path had played some tricks again. That was what Dugu Ijian had thought at the beginning. With Fong Kuan's strength, he was at the very least a top-notch existence here. He was at least a top-notch existence. Ordinary demonic path experts were no match for him, not even a 1-star war god. In fact, this was really the case. But now he had suffered such heavy injuries, been chased out, and even left with his life. This was the greatest humiliation of his life. It could be said that Fong Kuan was more than half crippled. Unless he could defeat that person in his lifetime, it would be difficult to increase his strength. After all, a 3-star war god would have to break through a barrier. If he didn't break through a barrier, he would not be able to increase his strength. No matter how capable Fong Kuan was, he would stop at the 3-star war god realm. Dugu Yijian was quite annoyed and infuriated. You demonic path experts really have some tricks up your sleeves. I didn't expect that I would make an error of judgment, but I want to see if your demonic path expert is stronger or if our side is stronger. Let's wait and see. Dao Yihai also laughed. I hope that your demonic path expert doesn't meet my disciple. Otherwise, he will be chopped into 18 pieces. That would be interesting. No matter what, the 2 8-star war gods were still very confident in the disciples under their tutelage. It shouldn't be too difficult for them to break through to the 70th floor and above. Let's wait and see. The surrounding demonic Dao disciples were all filled with smiles as they worshipped Lin Fan. Even Fong Kuan was defeated and chased out, and he was still alive. This was the most satisfying thing. Unfortunately, they still didn't know who that person was. They were especially looking forward to it. If they could chase out the other great experts, it would definitely be very interesting. It would also be very moving and make them feel incomparably excited. How could a demonic path disciple be inferior to a righteous path disciple? Let's see. They were still chased out by our demonic path expert. This kind of thought appeared in the minds of almost all the disciples. Chapter 48:28. Ha 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 ha. There's finally an increase in honor points. As expected, my way of thinking was useful. Even though killing that Fong Kuan was a good deed, to me, it's far less satisfying than letting him go. On one of the floors, Lin Fei finally broke into a smile. Just now, he had already started to gain honor points. His honor points started to rise. Of course, the hate points were the same. In comparison, the honor points were much higher. One could imagine how many people outside wanted to know his identity. This was the right thing to do. Lin Fei knew that not killing Fong Kuan was the best choice. Even though Fong Kuan was only at the pseudo-war god level, his combat strength was still very strong. Even Zhan Feng Yin couldn't catch him. In front of him, the other party's ability and methods were really nothing. He had easily made him lose the ability to resist. He didn't kill him because he wanted to catch a bigger fish. It seemed like he had caught quite a few small fish. As for the bigger fish, he had to continue working hard. However, in a short period of time, he actually didn't see the other disciples of the sword sect. But it didn't matter. Since he met Fong Kuan on this floor, then the other disciples should be inside. Some were ahead, some were behind. There weren't that many floors, so Lin Fei wasn't in a rush. Once he chased all of them out, he would be able to get more honor points. Lin Fei passed through the levels, one by one. On the 26th floor, he met a sword faction disciple. He chased him out too. On the 32nd floor, he had also chased another disciple of Blade Yihai out of the tower. He was an expert blade user. Lin Fei just gave him one slash, and he was chased out. On the 42nd floor, Lin Fei met another sword faction disciple. He was chased out again. On the 48th floor, Dao Yihai's other disciple was also chased out. This disciple was quite strong. He took 3 slashes before he was sent out. Of course, this was because Lin Fei didn't go all out. He just wanted to see how the disciple was doing. In the end, it proved that the other party's strength was really quite strong. Even so, he was still chased out. Another disciple from Sword Sect was chased out. Forget about the disciples of Sword Sect. Even Dao Yihai's disciples have been chased out. All of them have been chased out. Now, Dao Yihai's expression is a little dark. Who knows which heaven's chosen one has entered this place? His strength is quite valiant. I'm afraid this guy is the most powerful guy here. The disciples of Sword Sect and Blade 1C came out one after another. Everyone who talked about that person would have a look of helplessness, anger, and unwillingness to be chased out just like that. They were also planning to kill those demonic experts. But now they knew that they were far from being able to do so. In the past, he was still proud of himself, thinking that the experts of the demonic path were nothing more than this. And now they truly realized that the strength of the demonic path was very, very strong. Killing them was as easy as flipping a hand. But in the end, they were driven out and suppressed alive. Half a foot was completely pulled down. It would be very, very difficult to break through the realm in the future, unless one day they could kill this guy. Both Dugu Ijian and Dao Ihai's faces turned extremely ugly. Originally, this trip was to bring the disciples from their sect to gain experience. But now, it seemed that they had really suffered a huge setback here. Now, only Jianlang from Sword Sect was still inside. As for Dao Ihai's disciples, they had all come out. Until now, they didn't know how they lost. They could only say that that person was very, very strong, and they couldn't beat him at all. Crocodile King and Devil Class also laughed out loud. Finally, they could hold their heads high. They didn't know who was the one who took down such a glorious scene for them. Until now, no one had come out. Although it was Dugu Ijian and Dao Ihai's disciples who came out, it was indeed a happy thing. Of course, there was also a bit of displeasure in this happiness. Why didn't they kill all these heavens' chosen one? Although this would indeed destroy their future, once they could break through in the future, their strength would become even more valiant. Dugu Ijian, our Devil Dao, isn't bad either. It seems that this time, if you want to achieve a good result inside, it will probably be very difficult. Fortunately, our Devil Dao disciples are magnanimous. Otherwise, all of you would probably have died inside. Don't you think so? The Devil Class also started to speak. It was rare for them to be able to hold their heads high. Naturally, they had to ruthlessly ridicule this 8-star war god. Even if they ridiculed this time, they didn't know when the next time would be. After all, the abilities of the righteous experts were very strong. It was unknown when they would enter the Yuming Mountain. You Devil Dao is indeed very powerful this time. I didn't expect that there would be such a powerful heaven's chosen one. We really have to take a good look, Dao Ihai said with a black face. Dugu Ijian still maintained his calm, but he couldn't help but feel a little anxious in his heart. Now only Jianlang was left. From the description of the disciples just now, that heaven's chosen one should be a guy who walked the path of the physical body. His body was very strong. Their sword techniques couldn't display any power at all. This was indeed very difficult to deal with. Now, Dugu Ijian could only hope that Jianlang could kill that heaven's chosen one. That's right. That was to kill him. As long as he killed him, naturally, there would be no more problems. For such a heaven's chosen one, if he wasn't killed. For the righteous, he would definitely not be a strong enemy in the future, even if he hadn't completely broken through to the next realm. But there were still many treasures on the side of Devil Dao that could increase their strength. In this way, the opponent's potential would be limitless. It would really be very difficult to deal with. It seems that this time, Devil Dao has really picked up a great expert, a powerful seed with potential. We must send him to the Devil Dao's holy land to be cultivated. Devil Class said, he is indeed a capable potential seed. Dugu Ijian's disciples are all very powerful. They are almost invincible in the same realm. I didn't expect that they would be beaten to such a state. I want to meet this guy even more. This time, Crocodile King was also full of expectations for that mysterious heaven's chosen one. No matter what, he had to see him. After all, he had fought for glory for himself. If he didn't die, then he would definitely have the potential in the Yuming Mountain in the future. At the very least, the 2 8-star war gods were very optimistic about him. Chapter 48:29. Lin Fei continued to rush down. The further he went, the harder it was to get the key. because these demonic creatures wouldn't carry the key. It depended on the opportunity. Lin Fei could not help but complain a few more times, so he could only take it slow. Time passed in the blink of an eye. 3 months had passed. Lin Fei had only passed the 60th floor. During this period, he met some demonic path geniuses. However, their strength was average. Although the geniuses here were quite strong, the strongest ones should have run ahead. Lin Fei followed behind. Even if he had the great karma technique, he still had to wait. Before the time was up, he couldn't go down. This was the thing that made people speechless. No wonder he spent so much time here. Lin Fei was also at a loss. He really couldn't do anything about this. Walala walala. Lin Fei continued to rush down. Another half a year passed. Lin Fei finally arrived at the 70th floor. As soon as he arrived, he heard the sounds of fighting. It was very intense. Even Lin Fei was a little surprised. On the previous floors, he didn't meet any powerful geniuses. He didn't expect to meet one on the 70th floor. The fighting was very intense. This piqued Lin Fei's interest. At least it wouldn't fade. He really didn't have a chance to warm up along the way. Don't come and fight with me. This thing is mine. The 3 of you stand aside. If anyone comes over, don't blame me for being ruthless and killing all of you. An arc of energy instantly swept out, corroding the void in an instant. The 3 figures hurriedly retreated. They quickly distanced themselves. In the end, they still ended up surrounding him. Long Tai, don't be too greedy. This thing was made by us together. Why should it belong to you? That's right. We've worked so hard to get this thing. It's not a problem if you want it, but you should at least give us the same value of this treasure. Let's talk about it after we divide it. Although the 3 of us are slightly weaker than you, if we join hands, you won't have a good ending. Either you take out the same thing, or we'll make a move. When Lin Fei arrived, he saw 3 silhouettes forming a circle around him. In the middle was a young man with shoulder-length red hair and an evil aura. The so-called Long Tai that the 3 of them mentioned was also an expert of the devil path. He was unexpectedly a 3-star war god. Lin Fei had already sensed Long Tai's presence before. He should be an expert from a large sect. I didn't expect his means to be so good. Looking at the situation now, it should be an internal conflict. As for the other 3, he had a slight impression of them. They were all experts. All 3 of them were 2-star war gods. The 3 of them together were not to be underestimated. At the very least, they had expended a lot of energy along the way. It was no wonder that Long Tai dared to openly take away the most important treasure. Who's there? As soon as Lin Fei arrived, the 3 of them sensed him. A cold light came directly. With a swing of his hand, 3 beams of light shot out. Each beam contained the power of a 2-star war god. When they arrived in front of Lin Fei, they were automatically carried away. I'm just here to join in the fun. Do you believe me? Lin Fei easily neutralized the 3's attacks. It also made them feel great pressure in an instant. One Long Tai already made them feel a little uncomfortable. They didn't expect another expert to come. This expert was someone they didn't know, yet he easily carried them away. Long Tai's eyes turned cold. He looked over but didn't make a move. Who are you? This is an internal problem of the devil path. I advise you to leave. Long Tai's voice was very cold. He also felt the indescribable pressure from this young man. If we meet here, then it must be fate. You're disciples of the devil path, and I'm also a disciple of the devil path. I'm quite interested in that thing in your hand. Why don't you take it out and have a look? If I make a move, then you won't be so lucky because I'll throw you out. You won't die, but at most you'll lose face. Lin Fei smiled faintly. That's because I like to spar with experts. As long as they're experts, it's fine. It's either you kill me or I kill you. However, I prefer peace over the years, so I've never been ruthless. You can consider my suggestion. The three experts of the devil path were shocked. They couldn't figure out what this young man wanted to do. Could it be that he really wanted to deal with Long Tai? Long Tai had the power of a 3-star war god. Even though he hadn't passed his heavenly tribulation, his strength was still very strong. The three of them had to join hands to have the ability to resist. Now, a young man popped out of nowhere and casually said he wanted to challenge experts. Wasn't his tone a bit too arrogant? Fortunately, this young man wasn't looking for them. That was for the best. In any case, it would be best if Long Tai was dealt with. At that time, they might even be able to take advantage of the situation. You three don't need to be so happy. I'll give you a chance to choose. Either you obediently leave now, or I'll send you off. It's that simple. Of course, when you leave your rings behind. At least they can be considered some spoils of war. Lin Fei hadn't missed out on the disciples of Dugu Ijian and Saber Ihai. He had taken all their rings. At least he had to leave some spoils of war. This was also the reason why they hated Lin Fei so much after they left. All their belongings had been taken away. Fortunately, Lin Fei was inside the land of divinity and demons. They couldn't enter, so they could only wait outside. No matter what, they had to take the spoils of war back. No, it should be something that belonged to them. The three experts of the devil path were instantly enraged. Good heavens! He didn't take the four of them seriously at all. Since the four of you don't take my word seriously, then I'll let you experience what despair is. There was a loud bang in the air. In an instant, the space collapsed and the rumbling power directly swept over, crashing into their bodies. Whether it was the three experts of the devil path or Long Tai, they were all the same. In an instant, countless forces came crashing down, layer after layer. In the blink of an eye, they all vomited blood. Their faces paled. Any method seemed insignificant in the face of the collapsing space. The mighty force was endless. Despair began to envelop them. Chapter 48:30. Wave after wave of power continuously crushed over. Even if the three devil path experts wanted to resist, they felt that it was extremely difficult. They were completely unable to withstand it, and at this moment, Lin Fei also moved. Rays of sword aura directly chopped over. These sword auras were incomparably sharp. When they landed on their bodies, they instantly felt their hair stand on end. It was simply impossible to resist. Walla walla. Wounds appeared on their bodies. Even if their defensive treasure armor blocked a portion of it still seeped in. It was as if it couldn't block it at all. Have mercy, I'm willing to hand it over. Spare me, I lost. The three 2-star war gods simply didn't have any ability to resist. The wounds on their bodies let them know the difference between them. They would rather hand over the rings than resist to the end. If they were careless, they would most likely be killed. The 3 rings flew over at the same time, following which the 3 of them left. Lin Fei's gaze looked towards Long Tai. Long Tai's expression was exceptionally grave. How could he have expected such a powerful devil path expert to appear here? This method was truly hard to believe. Yet he didn't recognize the stranger. It was as if he had appeared out of thin air. This was the most difficult thing to accept. Now it's your turn. Although you have the strength of a 3-star war god, do you think you can beat me? If you don't believe me, you can give it a try. However, my patience has almost been completely exhausted. When we make our move, it won't be the same method again. Lin Fei indifferently looked over. Long Tai's heart thumped. This wasn't a good sign. Of course, he knew this person's strength. Even if he was alone, he could barely suppress the 3 2-star war gods. As long as he defeated them one by one, it wouldn't be that easy. If it was one-on-one, it wouldn't be a problem. If they were to team up, then it would be very difficult. In the end, there was at most a 60% chance of beating them back, and they only had a 40% chance. This wasn't a big gap. However, this young man was different. He was definitely an extremely powerful existence. The difference between him and him was truly too great. "Are you sure you want to do this? If you take this thing from me, you won't have a good life. You should know where I come from. I'm from the Demon Dragon clan." Long Tai's voice had also become exceptionally low. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud, rumbling sound. The power that filled the sky surged over. That was the power of the collapse of the void. Just a face-to-face made him vomit 3 liters of blood. He couldn't withstand it at all. The power of the collapse of the void was already very strong, and within it a beam of light rose directly, followed by a scale armor in front of him. The package was inside. Even so, he was still sent flying by a single slash. Following that, another wave of crushing power came crashing down on him. It was endless. So what if you're from the demonic dragon clan? If I want something, I'll naturally take it. Unless you want to die, it's that simple. A long river of saber light came in an instant, majestic and mighty. Long Tai's pupils constricted as he roared angrily, "Demonic dragon protection!" In an instant, a black light appeared. A demonic dragon was faintly discernible, which came from a big defensive move. However, in front of this big move, the saber light passed by in an instant, and the demonic dragon behind him collapsed, followed by Long Tai's entire body crashing out. Even with the demonic dragon protection, Long Tai was still no match for the other party's move. The power of the void collapsed once again. He was almost unable to move his entire body. "I accept my fate. I accept my fate." The ring floated over just like that. This was Long Tai's ring. Compared to the rings of the 3 of them, this ring looked very high and mighty. Lin Fei waved his hand and directly blasted a power on Long Tai's body. "You can get out now." Long Tai also disappeared, but his eyes were filled with endless hatred before he left. But there was even more helplessness. "You'll regret taking my ring." Lin Fei had nothing to regret about this. Since he had already encountered him, he had to take some spoils of war first. However, this Long Tai's reaction was a bit too big. It had to be said that this Long Tai was indeed much more powerful than the 3 war gods from before. Even if the 3 of them joined forces, they might not be a match for Long Tai. Meeting Lin Fei was different. It could only be said that they were unlucky. Being able to stay alive was already considered not bad. Let me see what kind of good stuff is in this guy's ring. Why does he hate me so much and want to tear me into pieces? Lin Fei looked at the 3 rings from before. The things in the rings were not as heavy as he had imagined, which made Lin Fei quite disappointed. He had to take a good look at this ring. Who asked Long Tai to have such a big reaction? After all, the demonic dragon clan was one of the more powerful clans in the great god's world. They were an existence that did not distinguish between good and evil, and belonged to a different category. And this demonic dragon clan was said to have an 8-star war god. That's right, the strongest was only an 8-star war god. However, this demonic dragon's strength was very strong, reaching the strength of a 9 stars war god, and his invincible body was very terrifying. Once it was opened, Lin Fei began to inspect it. This inspection made him set his eyes on an item. He casually took it out. This was a box. This box was sealed with layers of power, which was very obvious. Lin Fei seemed to understand why Long Tai hated him. It was most likely that the thing in this box was what he wanted to take away the most. If it wasn't for Lin Fei's strength directly suppressing Long Tai, this guy would probably have turned around and left. He wouldn't have stayed here at all, let alone hand over the ring. The seals on the ring were one layer after another. To Lin Fei, it was not too much of a pressure. He grabbed it with one hand, and a loud rumbling sound was heard. One seal after another was broken, just like that. After breaking 28 seals in a row, he finally broke all the seals. The later seals were stronger. An ordinary 3-star war god would not be able to open it. No matter what, One would need to be at least a 4-star or 5-star war god to be able to open it. Otherwise, one would not be able to open it at all. It could be considered to be a relatively different kind of box. As soon as Lin Fei opened box, there was actually a bead in the box. This bead emitted the aura of the Dragon Clan, but it was a little different from the Dragon Clan. It emitted an evil aura. Lin Fei seemed to understand what this thing was. He casually resealed it with layers of power. He kept it. Of course, he kept it in his ring. It seems that I have encountered something interesting. Chapter 48:31. The land of divinity and demons was bustling with noise and excitement. Who knew how many people were waiting outside? Because a super fierce person had appeared inside. Whether it was the experts of the righteous path or the demonic path, they were all chased out. Fortunately, the demonic path experts weren't killed. They were only injured. They lost face, but compared to the other righteous path experts, they could at least survive. This was the biggest difference. Whoosh! Another figure came out. Everyone recognized him as soon as he came out. Wasn't this Long Tai of the Demon Dragon Clan? He was a very powerful guy. They heard that he had mastered the demon dragon's protection at such a young age. This was a powerful secret technique that was known to have an invincible defense. Once it was used, no one in the same realm could break through the demon dragon's protection. But now they saw that Long Tai was injured, and his injuries weren't light either. Their hearts skipped a beat. Could it be that super fierce person again? After coming out, 2 experts walked out from the void. When these 2 experts came out, the void shook. Everyone also recognized that this was definitely a great expert of the demonic Dragon Clan. They didn't expect them to follow them. Dugu Yijian and the others also looked over. These 2 experts of the demonic Dragon Clan were both at the 8-star war god realm. When he came out and saw the 2 8-star celestial gods, his expression turned cold and he whispered a few words to them. The gazes of the 2 8-star war gods turned even colder. The Crocodile King and Devil class felt the pressure. The strength of these 2 great experts from the Devil Dragon Clan was vaguely above them. They didn't know why Long Tai was accompanied by 2 great experts this time. Something big must have happened inside. That super fierce person had really offended someone this time. Originally, the Crocodile King admired him, but now it seemed that this guy's brain wasn't normal. If the other party had a background, then it would be fine. But if he didn't, then it would be really troublesome. The Demon Dragon Clan was vicious and merciless. Even the experts of the righteous path didn't dare to offend the Demon Dragon Clan. After all, if the Demon Dragon Clan got angry, they couldn't control it. It was said that the entire Demon Dragon Clan would come out in full force. That would be the most terrifying thing. They didn't care about any rules at all. Even a 9-star war god would have to consider the consequences of offending the demonic Dragon Clan. Even a 9-stars war god wouldn't be able to break through the defense of the demonic dragon when the 8-stars war god unleashed the demonic dragon's armor. This was the scariest part. Lin Fei continued to rush down. As far as he was concerned, the only person who could fight him was Jian Lang. However, this guy was quite fast. Another half a year had passed. Lin Fei finally reached the 80th level. The higher he went, the harder it was. He didn't know how many batches of monsters it would take to get a key. Once again, he entered the next level. Lin Fei arrived at the 81st floor. As soon as he arrived at this level, he felt the sharp sword qi surging towards him. He knew that Jian Lang was on this floor. Apart from the difficulty, Lin Fei also felt a powerful figure. It seemed like he was fighting with Jian Lang. Sword qi crisscrossed. His defense appeared. It was like the sun, moon, and rivers. It actually stopped these attacks. As expected of the most favored disciple of Dugu Yijian. He's really strong. He can even reach the 81st floor. His potential is really outstanding. There was a loud rumbling sound. The incoming sword qi collapsed in an instant. A torrent flashed past, and countless layers of sword and tent appeared in front of Jianlang, barely managing to block the attack. His blood and qi were churning violently. He didn't expect that this ordinary-looking guy in front of him was actually a great expert. He didn't have any advantage in this fight. Terrifying. Terrifying. Jianlang also felt how strong this guy was. At this moment, he actually felt another aura enter. He was stunned again. This time, there were so many experts from the Demon Dao. Not only did one come, but a second one actually came. This ordinary-looking man also noticed this aura. He didn't expect another one to come. However, it didn't seem like an expert from the righteous Dao. That meant he was from the Demon Dao. But when did the Demon Dao have such a potential guy? But it didn't matter. Another one came. It seems like this time, the three most powerful ones are on this floor. Lin Fei walked over unhurriedly. There weren't any demonic creatures appearing in the surroundings. Once a demonic creature appeared, it would be instantly destroyed. There was no time for them to make any movements. So, this floor of the palace was empty. I've caught up from behind. I think the two of you are quite interesting. Why aren't you fighting? At least continue to fight. Let me watch a good show. This way I can reap the benefits. Don't you think so? Lin Fei laughed. He also saw this ordinary-looking, middle-aged man. He was indeed very ordinary. One wouldn't have any impression of him at all. This kind of person was really rare. It also made Lin Fei realize that the more such a person was, the more secrets he had. You should have driven Long Tai out, right? Then Long Tai's items should be in your hands. The middle-aged man's eyes suddenly turned cold as he stared at Lin Fei and said, he felt the aura left by Long Tai on the middle-aged man's body. So, you also know Long Tai. It seems that Long Tai has cooperated with you. As for whether the item is in my hands or not, why don't you guess? Obliterate. Swoosh. In an instant, a terrifying force swept out from Lin Fei's surroundings, causing the void to instantly collapse. In an instant, this was a very powerful killer move. Without any warning, it arrived in an instant. Even Jianlang was shocked in his heart. He still underestimated the middle-aged man's power. He actually mastered such a powerful killer move. Even Jianlang might not be able to block it. In an instant, Lin Fei felt a wave of energy slamming into his body. However, he also displayed his infinite divine body. As the force weakened layer by layer, it actually didn't move at all. It was as if nothing had happened. Don't be so hot-tempered. How can I not have some strength to be able to come here? I drove Long Tai out because he isn't strong enough. Don't you want to consider cooperating with me? This time, it was the middle-aged man's turn to be shocked. He actually misjudged Long Tai. This was also a powerful guy. Swoosh! With a swoosh, the void collapsed. Another mighty force rushed over, catching him off guard. This is called reciprocity. Chapter 4832. It could be said that Jianlang had been watching these two people from start to finish. You came and went, I schemed, you schemed, I schemed. This instantly made him feel the pressure. He didn't think that he would encounter two powerful demonic path masters in the land of divinity and demons. He certainly knew who this person was, but he didn't know the other young man. He was very mysterious, and his mortal body was also very powerful. Even the methods he was proud of might not be able to easily break through his mortal body. If the other party also had a defensive treasure armor, then that would be the most difficult thing to deal with, unless he used a top-killing move. But in normal circumstances, he wouldn't use that kind of killing move so easily. Thus, he decided to take things one step at a time. He originally thought that it would be best if the two of them could have a big fight. At that time, he didn't mind being the fisherman that reaped the benefits. If he could completely eliminate both of them, he believed that he would be able to obtain a great harvest. But the result was like this. The two exchanged a few moves and then didn't fight again. The middle-aged man laughed. Interesting, interesting. I didn't think that your heart would be so vicious. Luckily, I have some methods. Otherwise, I would have suffered a great loss. Lin Fei also laughed. Isn't this a fair exchange? Is there anything wrong with that? How about we fight again? But if we really fight, I'm sure that Brother Jianlang will be very happy. Jianlang didn't feel good at all. After all, he was taking pleasure in other people's misfortune. He didn't think that the two of them wouldn't fight. The middle-aged man immediately looked over. That's right, if we fight, we'll really be giving it to an outsider. In any case, that fellow Long Tai isn't strong enough. Now that his things are in your hands, that's for the best. We can cooperate, but before we cooperate, we can drive this Jianlang out. Yes, we should eliminate him. What do you think? Jianlang instantly felt the pressure. If he dealt with a middle-aged man, he had a good chance of winning. At most, he would have a 50-50 chance. However, with the addition of this unfamiliar young man, the situation was completely different. Ruthless God of War, you're quite good at choosing to cooperate with this person. However, aren't you afraid of being tricked by me when we fight? When that time comes, who knows who will die? So this middle-aged man was called Heartless War God. Lin Fei furrowed his brows. He finally knew about this Heartless God of War. This guy could be considered quite powerful. His strength as a 3-star war god had already reached the pinnacle. You can say that the next level is the intermediate level war god. One had to know that there were many divisions in the war god realm. Everyone's cultivation level rose a little. For example, a 1-star war god to a 3-star war god belonged to the ranks of ordinary war gods. From 4-star to 6-star war gods, they were considered intermediate war gods. From 7-star war god to 9-star war god, that's advanced war god. As for the final 10-star war gods, they were the top war gods. Under normal circumstances, being able to train to the advanced level war god level is already pretty good. As for the top war gods, only 5 of them had reached this level in the entire great world. Whether they had a breakthrough or not, nobody knew. In any case, no one was willing to test the waters, because those who tried were easily annihilated. Actually, there's no need to chase him away. After all, there's one more opponent. Coincidentally, I was planning to meet him and have a good fight. It'd be a pity if I really killed him. In my opinion, all geniuses are suppressed. Letting them live in my era of suppression is the most interesting thing. Don't you think so? After chasing him all the way here, Lin Fei was obviously here to deal with Jianlang. If he defeated him and sent him out, he would definitely gain a lot of honor points. Up until now, his honor points had been rising rapidly. It was obvious that he was on the right path. Whether it was Heartless God of War or Jianlang, they were both shocked. They didn't expect this young man to be so ambitious. He actually wanted to suppress an era's pride. This wasn't something anyone could do. If he didn't have any strength, he could only stare helplessly. Jianlang felt that he was too easy to bully. A stranger came and wanted to suppress him. Even Heartless God of War didn't dare to say such words. You're really arrogant. Although I, Jianlang, am not an expert, my potential is limitless. In the future, I will be a super expert in the world. You actually dare to say that you can suppress me? Fine, let me see how you can suppress me and an era. There was a loud rumble. The void collapsed. Layer after layer of power swept over. Jianlang already knew that he had such a move. In an instant, countless sword lights appeared around him, forming a barrier. Even so, the barrier still rumbled loudly. It kept collapsing. His heart skipped a beat in an instant. He had underestimated this guy. He didn't expect the power of the void to be so strong. It was really terrifying. He couldn't take it anymore. With just one move, he knew the gap between them. This stranger was really very, very strong. He actually didn't know such a person. As expected, all demonic experts deserve to die. If you can't even take this move of mine, what right do you have to say that you're God's favored one? Lin Fei smiled faintly. Unless you can withstand it, then it'll be different. Then you'll be qualified to fight with me. Otherwise, you can only be like your fellow disciples, thrown out by me. Don't worry, I won't destroy you. I said that I'll suppress you for an era, and that's it. It's that simple. The heartless war god was also slightly startled. He finally knew that this guy was hiding his strength. When he fought just now, it definitely wasn't as strong as it was now. It seemed that this demonic expert didn't have a good temper towards the righteous path. That was good too. He already had some pressure dealing with Jianlang. Now that this unfamiliar expert was making a move, it couldn't be better. But he just couldn't figure out where this young man came from. It was as if he really came out of nowhere. I'm actually not that easy to deal with. Since you want to suppress me, then I'll take out my killer move and let you experience it. See God's possession, kill. There was a loud explosion. A shadow came from the sky and appeared directly behind him. Chapter 48:33. The moment the illusion appeared. Heartless war god gasped. Good fella, you actually refined this sword god illusion. No wonder you were so confident to come in. With such a supreme treasure, you can instantly merge with the sword god. Your strength will increase greatly, and you will directly step into the level of an advanced war god. This gasp surprised Lin Fei a little. No wonder he felt a dangerous aura from this fella. It was indeed like this. Sure enough, Jianlang had a powerful treasure on him. That was the so-called sword god's phantom. With this thing, he could instantly merge with the sword god and his strength would increase greatly. Jianlang laughed out loud. Now you know why I dared to come in. Originally, I didn't intend to use this sword god illusion. Unfortunately, you forced me to do so. Today, I will merge with him and kill both of you here. This way, I won't waste a chance. Heartless Wargod's expression tensed up. He didn't expect Jianlang to have such a treasure. It seemed like Dugu Yijian had gotten it as a top-notch killing weapon for self-defense. Lin Fei saw it too. This Jianlang's strength had indeed skyrocketed. Jianlang laughed out loud. Rays of sword light flew over. These sword lights seemed to have their own awareness as they instantly locked onto the two of them. Today, whether it's you or Heartless War God, both of you will die here. Heartless Wargod's face turned a little pale. A defensive treasure had already appeared around his body. It protected him like a ball. However, the moment the sword light arrived, it instantly split into thousands of attacks and bombarded the ball. It actually blasted open the ball like protection on the spot. Heartless War God was heavily injured. Streaks of fresh blood flowed down from the wound. Heartless War God took out a pill and swallowed it. He had completely underestimated the power of Jianlang. I forgot to tell you, this sword god of mine isn't an ordinary sword god. He is the illusion of an 8-star war god. How about it? It's very powerful, right? Lin Fei's side was also attacked by the sword light, which was very powerful. However, Lin Fei's situation was different from his opponent's. The surrounding void instantly collapsed, bombarding the sword light. In an instant, the power of the sword light was reduced to 30 to 40%. With a flick, pung, 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 pung. These sword lights collapsed one by one. Even if there were some powerful ones, they only left white marks on Lin Fei's body. He didn't look as miserable as he looked. This caused Jianlang to be slightly stunned in his heart. My goodness, it's just as I imagined. This guy's physical body is indeed very strong. So what if your fleshly body is strong? If I want to kill you, it's as easy as flipping my palm. Even Heartless God of War couldn't stop me, let alone you. The sky was filled with sword light again. Lin Fei suddenly laughed. I don't know if your physical body is strong or not. If your physical body is not strong, then you're out of luck. Jianlang's expression changed slightly. Of course, his physical body was not strong. As an expert who used the sword, he had always been the one attacking others. No one had ever been able to attack him. Moreover, he had always attacked from afar. He would never let anyone get close to him. Even if they did, no one would be able to get close to him. This was because the closer the distance, the stronger the power of his so-called sword technique would be. Moreover, He had merged with the powerful strength of the Sword God, although it hadn't been long. Sword God strike, splitting heaven and earth. A ray of light instantly appeared and directly slashed at Lin Fei's position. In an instant, a huge crack appeared on the ground. This attack came very quickly. Even heartless God of War felt his scalp go numb. He finally knew that he couldn't afford to offend the people from the Sword Sect. After mastering the Sword God's shadow, they were simply super experts. It was no wonder that no one dared to deal with Dugu Ijian. He probably also had the Sword God's shadow. Once he merged with it, he would be able to increase his strength by 30 to 50%. He would definitely be a nightmare for other war gods of the same level. Now he had completely experienced it. In his heart, he hated this young stranger. You don't even have much strength. How dare you say that you can suppress Jianlang? This was great. Everyone was finished, and he was injured in the first exchange. This was really shameful. As the sword slashed down, Lin Fei instantly disappeared. Jianlang let out a groan. A shadow appeared behind him. Who else could it be but Lin Fei? Just now, he directly used this move of his spirit projection. Now that he used it again, it became infinitely powerful. It broke through any defense, broke through any restrictions, and directly caused Jianlang to be seriously injured. The originally unreachable aura of Jianlang instantly collapsed and returned to its original state, following which his aura continuously weakened and his face became unimaginably pale. He coughed out mouthful after mouthful of blood. What killing move is that? How come I've never seen it before? Lin Fei faintly smiled. It's not really a powerful move. It's just a little trick of mine. It's specifically used to deal with those with weak bodies. Do you know why I said I wanted to suppress an era? As long as your body isn't too strong, killing you in front of me is as easy as turning over my hand. Hand over your ring and you can leave. Otherwise, I'm afraid your body won't be able to withstand a second attack. The might of Lin Fei's spirit projection wasn't ordinary. It wasn't something that the average person could resist. Jianlang's complexion instantly changed. He really couldn't withstand this mysterious attack a second time. If he really did it again, he would be completely finished. Are you sure you want my ring? You should know that if you take my ring and leave the land of divinity and demons, you will die without a doubt. No one can block my honorable master's sword. Lin Fei laughed. Whether or not you can block it is another matter. Now, either you hand it over or I'll send you on your way. Although it's a pity that I didn't manage to suppress an era. Whoosh! A ring flew over and stopped in front of Lin Fei. I hope you can still smile when the time comes and not look like this. Jianlang handed over the ring and left. Lin Fei's gaze fell on this heartless war god. At this time, the heartless war god's expression turned cold. He seemed to understand what had happened. Are you sure you want to drive me out? This isn't a good thing for you. If the two of us work together, we might be able to reach the final level. Chapter 48-34. From time to time, some demonic path experts would come out from outside the land of divinity and demons. Of course, the one that everyone was looking forward to, Jianlang, didn't come out. This was a little surprising to everyone. Logically speaking, that person should have come out. After all, there was a great expert inside, but Jianlang hadn't come out yet. Could it be that Jianlang killed that expert? If that was the case, then they would be very disappointed. The Crocodile King and the Devil Class were also quietly discussing. I don't know if that kid can deal with Jianlang. If he can't beat him, then it's really bad. Our demonic path finally has an expert, but he's probably finished. We're worrying too much. Although Jianlang is strong, our demonic path expert isn't ordinary either. He might be able to beat that guy. We'll only know after we fight, whether it was the Crocodile King or the Devil Class. They naturally hoped that the demonic path expert could beat Jianlang. That was the best case scenario. If he could be killed, that would be the best thing. It would also cause Dugu Ijian to lose an expert, and the righteous path would also lose a great expert. Once such an expert grew up, his future would be very terrifying. There was a clatter. The two of them instantly stopped talking. A figure came out, followed by a sword light that instantly wrapped around him. He was pulled back. This person wasn't anyone else, it was Jian Lang. The moment Jian Lang came out, the surrounding people were shocked. No one thought that Jian Lang would come out at this time. It can't be. Jian Lang actually came out at this time. I think he's injured. Could it be that our great expert chased him out? That's great. I want to see who dares to say that our demonic path doesn't have experts in the future. Even Jian Lang isn't his opponent, let alone others. Awesome. Really awesome. He was chased out just like that. The demonic path experts present all cheered excitedly. Finally, the most powerful Jian Lang was chased out. This time, they could finally hold their heads high. They weren't suppressed by the righteous path. Dugu Yijian immediately took out a pill for Jian Lang to eat. The injuries on Jian Lang's body also recovered. Master, I can't beat that guy. He's very mysterious and very powerful. Jian Lang was very helpless when he mentioned it. He had never thought that the weakness of his fleshly body would become the only way for his opponent to defeat him. Dugu Yijian was also very surprised. Although he was prepared, he never expected that his own disciple would be driven out. That person was too powerful. Fortunately, that person didn't go all out. Although Jian Lang was seriously injured, he was still alive. As long as we come out alive, we'll have a chance to rise again in the future. There's nothing else. It was also the only thing that made him sigh with emotion. He did not die in there, but my ring was taken away by him, and all my resources were taken away by him. Dugu Yijian also noticed it. He didn't expect that person to be so daring. Unkillable sword wave. All the rings were taken away by the other party. That's a lot of wealth. I will help you get this ring back. No one can take your ring and keep it by their side. At this time, Dugu Yijian also wanted to meet this devil path expert. He actually had such potential. Such a person, if they didn't kill him, sooner or later, he would become a great enemy of the righteous path. Dugu Yijian, don't tell me you want to bully the weak. Our devil path experts aren't people you can bully as you like. Your disciple lost and naturally has to hand over the ring. It's already good enough that he can come out alive. Don't you think so? The Crocodile King said coldly. He stared at Dugu Yijian. Of course. He heard the conversation between the two clearly. Devil Class also laughed. If you plan to make a move, then I won't be polite. After all, our devil path experts aren't that easy to bully. It wasn't easy for a powerful expert to appear. How could they let Dugu Yijian make a move? Dugu Yijian laughed out loud. Why would I do something like bullying the weak? But he took my disciple's ring, and he should get it back. Of course, I won't let him hand it over for nothing. Naturally, I will give him a certain price. Don't tell me I don't understand this. No matter what Dugu Yijian said, the Crocodile King and Devil Class would be careful and definitely wouldn't let the other party kill that person. Heartless War God was very annoyed at this time. He didn't expect this guy to chase Dugu Yijian's disciple out and then target him. This wasn't a good thing. If it was something else, it would be fine. But this kind of thing really made him very unhappy. At this time, he really couldn't beat the other party. Especially that move just now, he saw it clearly. Until now, he still couldn't think of a good way to break it. The only way to break it was if his body was strong enough. Even Jian Lang couldn't block it, let alone himself. I'm really not interested in the treasures inside. I'm just purely in expert sparring. Now that I've actually chased him out, the only one left is you, heartless war god. Do you think I should chase you out? Lin Fei laughed. In this short period of time, his honor points had risen again. There were even a few big numbers. Needless to say, Jian Lang must have caused a lot of commotion outside. This was a potential seed of a great expert, but he was chased out just like that. If he also chased Heartless War God out, the amount of honor value he gained would definitely not be small. Wait, if there's anything, let's talk about it. Don't you really want to know what's at the end? There are all kinds of treasures left by a super expert. It's almost equivalent to 1/10 of the treasures in this side of the world. Are you really not interested? Lin Fei really didn't know what kind of treasures were inside. He really wasn't interested. He also hadn't heard of any treasures. This heartless war god's words were a bit interesting. It seemed that this guy knew something. 1/10 of the treasures, are you sure? Why are you so confident when the people outside don't know? Are you trying to fool me? I think I'd better send you out. Heartless war god's heart skipped a beat. Wrong. There are indeed very few people who know about this, but I know because I have the pass to enter the top floor, the God Pass. Heartless War God immediately took out a God Fiend Pass. This was a very special God Pass. However, in an instant, Lin Fei launched a mental projection. Heartless War God was seriously injured. The God Pass fell into Lin Fei's hands. Chapter 48:35. Lin Fei immediately used a mental projection. He didn't give Heartless War God any chance at all. This guy was quite cunning. In case something unexpected happened, he had to deal a heavy blow to him with a single move. Even though Heartless War God was always on guard, he still couldn't stop Lin Fei's attack. In the blink of an eye, he was hit. The pass was also in Lin Fei's hands. It was a token that exuded an ancient aura. Lin Fei already believed half of the opponent's words. This guy really knew a lot of secrets. However, Heartless War God seemed to be quite timid. With a whoosh, he immediately fled. He did not let Lin Fei attack him again. He immediately left the place. This guy runs pretty fast. However, now that the God Fiend Pass is in my hands, I can give it a try. Let's see if I can reach the innermost part. Who knows? I might be able to gain something. Maybe I can get to the last floor. Actually, Lin Fei didn't think too much about it. He just came here to farm some glory. It seemed like it was going quite smoothly. Now that the Heartless War God was out, his honor points would naturally rise as well. In reality, that was really the case. Originally, everyone was shocked at how Jianlang came out. Who knew that after a while, Heartless War God also came out. This guy was definitely very strong. Who knew that he would be chased out just like that? Heartless War God came out with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared into the void. Everyone couldn't see it correctly, but they all knew one thing. This time, no matter if it was the experts from the demonic path or the righteous path, they all suffered a huge loss. There was a true expert here. Calling him an expert was a bit too much, but calling him a seed with great potential was definitely not an issue. A person like this had a high chance of becoming an advanced level war god in the future. Advanced level war gods aren't the same. They are truly all-powerful characters. As for whether or not there was someone stronger than Heartless War God, no one knew. They could only wait. After the void, a ray of light instantly appeared. It wrapped up Heartless War God and turned him into a speck of dust. It turned out that there was actually a cave here, and it was a spatial treasure that could turn into the size of a speck of dust. It was definitely the best of the best. After Heartless War God entered, someone came up. He also had a very surprised expression on his face. Why did you come out? Logically speaking, no one should be your opponent. Could it be that Jianlang is really that powerful? It's not that Jianlang, but someone else. It's a stranger. I don't know him at all. He has an extremely powerful move that directly penetrated my body and launched a fierce attack. I can't withstand it at all, and even the God and Devil Pass was snatched away by him. We've planned for so long, but this time we can only watch helplessly. So. Two figures came out directly. Their faces were filled with shock as they looked at Heartless War God. How is this possible? The God and Devil Pass was stolen by him. Could it be that he knows what's inside? This shouldn't be possible. The number of people who know about this can be counted on one hand. Wu Qing, did you say something to him? That's why he stole the Godfiend pass. Heartless War God smiled bitterly again and again. He originally wanted to drive me out, but I stopped him with words and took out the God and Devil pass. But before I could activate it, he was severely injured. Both of their expressions changed slightly. This situation was really bad. Even the God and Devil pass was taken away. Like this, he lost a chance and gave it to that guy for nothing. One of the taller War God powerhouses coldly snorted. Since he took the God and Devil pass, then let's wait for him outside. He absolutely doesn't have the qualifications to enter. The further we go, the more dangerous it will be. The other followed. That's right, let's wait outside. This guy definitely has a lot of secrets on him. Even Heartless War God isn't his match, and even Jian Lang was driven out. This boy must have some background. There were many speculations about this mysterious master outside the land of divinity and demons. After all, this situation was really rare. On the side of the demonic path, no more masters came out. As for Dugu Ijian and Blade Ihai, they didn't seem like they wanted to leave. Clearly, they wanted to see just what kind of background this young man had. Why did he have such strength? No matter what, they had to enjoy themselves first. Leaving now was just thinking too much. His honor points were rising rapidly. This increase wasn't an ordinary amount. Anyone would be happy to see this. Like this, Lin Fei stopped, walked, and stopped. He constantly killed these demonic creatures. The further he went, the stronger these demonic creatures became. Fortunately, there were no more people behind him. Lin Fei could act without any scruples. He didn't believe that he couldn't make it through. In any case, he had plenty of time. As for the people outside the land of divinity and demons, time slowly passed. First 1 year, then 1.5 years, then 2 and 3 years. In the blink of an eye, 5 years had passed. No one else came out. Even that powerful expert was nowhere to be seen. No one knew how many levels he had gone to. Whether he had died inside or not, no one knew. Dugu Ijian and Blade Ihai were originally prepared to guard, but looking at the situation, they couldn't do so anymore. They simply left with their people. As for Long Tai's side, he continued to abide by the rules. Heartless War God was the same. The Crocodile King and Demon class waited for 1 year or 2 before leaving. This was because they didn't know what was going on inside. Unless someone reached a certain level and came out, they wouldn't know. Otherwise, they wouldn't know. This place was just that mysterious. On this day, there was a loud rumbling sound. Bright lights flickered inside, and beams of light shot up into the sky. Many experts from the Hades mountain range rushed over. Oh my God! Someone has entered the 99th floor. No way! Someone really reached the 99th level. That's too amazing. Which family's young master reached the 99th level? Our demonic path is finally going to have a master. Could it be that the person who went in last time didn't die? He actually reached the 99th level. The demonic path masters were all excited. Following that, the Crocodile King and Demon class came over. Both of them were shocked. They had really underestimated this person. Chapter 48:36. The 99th floor was completely different. At the very least, many experts from the demonic path were alarmed and came after hearing the news. One by one, they hid in the void and paid attention to the final changes. There had never been a proud son of heaven who could reach the 99th floor, but now, someone actually made it. They understood the situation a little. They were shocked. It turned out to be a very unfamiliar demonic path expert. Could it be that he was secretly trained by a sect big shot? He was planning to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. This kind of situation was very normal in the Hades mountain. His talent was too amazing. He didn't even know when he was being schemed against. So, some people would hide and slowly cultivate. They would only show themselves when their strength improved greatly. In this way, no one could do anything about it. They had to acknowledge his identity and status, because his strength had reached a level that they couldn't fight against. At the very least, he was a great expert. Now that such a thing had happened, they couldn't help but be curious. Is this the last floor? It really is different. If I didn't have so many trump cards, I might really die here. It's too dangerous. He reached the 99th floor. Lin Fei was a little surprised. There was actually no figure on this floor. The entire space was quiet. For a moment, Lin Fei wondered if he had come to the wrong place. But he was very sure that this was the 99th floor. He took out the pass. Lin Fei remembered that the heartless god of war attached great importance to this thing. Most importantly, there was a very strong force on this pass. Because of this, Lin Fei didn't let him attack and directly chased him out. He used spiritual descend and let him try again. At the same time, he also took the pass with him. As soon as the pass was taken out, it flew out on its own with a whooshing sound. Then it shone brightly. A figure walked out from the void. He raised his hand and the pass was in his hand. I didn't expect that after so many years, someone would finally come with a pass. You lucky one. I am the artifact spirit here. The light dissipated. There was only one figure left in front of Lin Fei. It was a small figure, but its origin wasn't simple. It was actually an artifact spirit. It felt a little different. It seemed that this big shot was more mysterious than he had imagined. To be able to maintain even an artifact spirit and to be able to retain its spiritual intelligence was indeed very rare. Follow me. Lin Fei swaggered over. He wasn't too worried. Although the artifact spirit was mysterious, it was very easy for Lin Fei to kill him. The other party didn't have any killing intent towards him, which meant that there was no karma between them. As long as the other party wanted to kill him, it meant that there was a karma between them. As long as the other party wanted to kill him, it meant that there was a karma relationship with him. This karma technique was quite useful. It was no wonder that after mastering karma, many people would be able to tell if someone was trying to kill them from afar. Even if they passed by each other, they would know if the other party was an enemy or not. Just like that, Lin Fei. He could clearly feel that the other party was. Rays of light appeared in an instant. It turned out that in this level of the palace, there were actually many doors. These doors were hidden in the void. After the artifact, spirit, triggered them, they appeared one by one. Lin Fei actually passed through 10 doors in one breath. Every time he passed through a door, he felt like he had passed through a different place. This door contained the power of space. It was even stronger than the space that Lin Fei had mastered. After all, Lin Fei had mastered the power of space. The void inside collapsed. The collapse of the void was very strong. Of course, some stronger ones could naturally resist it. Lin Fei's control of the power of space was still too weak. He couldn't control a large area and could only gather all the power in a small area. The power was naturally affected. However, this door was different. It was a true top-notch space Great Tao. This teleportation was like passing through thousands of mountains and rivers. He admired this guy even more. This was the arrangement of this big shot. He passed through 10 doors in one breath. If it wasn't for his strong physical body, he really wouldn't be able to stabilize himself. In the end, he came to the side of a lake. There was a layer of white mist around the lake, and it was quiet. There was actually a thatched house by the lake. This thatched house was also quiet. With a whoosh, a huge figure rushed out of the lake. This was a ferocious beast. When it moved, it was earth-shattering. The void collapsed. It was extremely strong. At this moment, an illusory figure appeared and pressed down with one hand. With a loud rumble, this powerful, ferocious beast turned into dust. Then the world returned to normal. Then the illusory figure turned around. Lucky one, I didn't expect that someone would finally pass the 99th level. Interesting. You actually have quite a bit of power. This person seemed to see through Lin Fei with just a glance. Lin Fei squinted slightly. This illusory figure was really strong. It seemed like some secrets couldn't be hidden, especially the power of space and time in his body. It seemed like he couldn't hide it from this person. Junior Lin Fei greets Senior. Lin Fei cupped his hands. The illusory figure followed and appeared in front of Lin Fei, just like that. This old man is infinite. The voice, which was neither soft nor loud, reverberated in Lin Fei's mind. Even if it was just two simple words, it instantly gave Lin Fei a great sense of oppression. It was as if an infinitely powerful figure had appeared in front of him just like that. Your body has a trace of infinite aura. You're quite an interesting guy. I wonder where you learned this technique from. The word infinite was magnified in an instant. Lin Fei didn't expect this illusory figure to be called infinite. Although it was just two words, the feeling it gave off was definitely different. Most importantly, the other party could actually see through the infinite divine body that he cultivated. From the looks of it, could it be that his infinite divine body was inherited from the other party? That can't be right. I obviously bought it from the system store. It seems like I've encountered a trap. Lin Fei couldn't possibly tell the other party that he learned it from the system store, right? I obtained the infinite divine body from a secret realm. There was a skeleton there. I felt that this infinite divine body was pretty good, so I gritted my teeth and practiced it. I didn't expect it to be so smooth. Now, I've already cultivated it to the 20th level. Lin Fei simply made up a lie and said in a serious tone,